I really don't want I really don't want to have them anywhere stored other than in the transfer area, where then it is hopefully that if I do lose some, you know, some of the data, that those are not gonna get erased. Although there is some things that I actually do want to look up. On my other character now. Actually, there's one more piece which I don't have on this character, but yeah, doesn't matter. We can look it up separately. First of all, let's go somewhere safe. Let's go to the boss room. I think that's gonna be fine. Okay. Well done. Let's hope that yes, I do spawn in the right place. When you actually activate, or when I activate my so much for the Stonebinder cuffs. Sad. Wow, I really got only one cuff? That's pretty sad. Out of this one, you don't get anything anymore. This is one of the worst chests to actually farm. I really don't know why. But yeah, I got Gorgon Cuffs of Alacrity. I actually thought it was very fun. we were so close to greatness. That's god damn it. No, but so I was actually about to look up some stuff. Now that we do have the discs, we do have the Toitatis plate, we do have the Necrolord. Well, we do have the Talisman. And we do have the Band of Souls. So I was actually a little bit interested. Necrolords, I don't then need the Band of Souls directly, but it is a lot of life leech. So also life leech retaliation. I'm not quite sure how well that actually works. If I actually put this somewhere on, we can hopefully see it a little bit. Like, obviously I'm losing a lot of life right now, but for here this should be good enough. Oh, hey, hero monster. Okay, so yeah, we are actually healing relatively nicely, but not from many of the hits. Yeah, see, it can just put 3 damage on me. And I'm not actually able to retaliate that. Yeah, it just takes so long to actually activate anything. This Band of Soul is not as good as I hoped it would be. That is pretty damn sad. We're gonna do a fighter. God damn it, game. At least my life leech is better, I guess. Like, substantially better. Ares Wrath. Oh, interesting. But yeah, otherwise, as you can see, like, I can't actually retaliate against damage. It's nice that there is retaliation. It does proc, but so infrequently. Also, my energy does not seem to actually like it either. Also, Ares does have life leech, does have attack damage, and I do get Warwind with it. Huh. Interesting. Well, I get a lot of I mean, it does have the chance for a lot of physical damage. It does have 10% strength. I mean, it's actually not a horrible find for me. Sure, why not? But yeah, Band of Souls is not worth it, unfortunately. So yeah, Necrolord is probably then the better choice. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe I just need a lot of enemies. Testing takes a long time. God damn it. Yeah, it just does not seem to activate. And I still need to hit, so it's not... Still, with the leech, as you can see, it does do damage then. What I would need is longer duration on the leech. That would actually be fine. Yeah, I mean, it is... it is 84% life leech, so... Not horrible. Well, I mean, for the moment, life is more important. And also, obviously, fire. Okay, so... No, my ability activated, so I can't actually. But yeah, I think I almost healed. Yeah, I healed basically double. Like, especially with the reduced resistances on top. It should actually be more than double then. Okay, let's see. Let's actually see what we're gonna take into the end game. Because as it is right now, it is probably good enough, but it is not yet where I want it to be. Especially since I've got so many good items from farming. I actually would hope that I can muster something a little bit better. I'm just not sure how. And I'm thinking the way that we put it together would actually then kind of hinge on that, you know, like one last item or whatever. I think, you know, it's just, you know, the finishing touches that would be needed, which I just can't give it otherwise. But yeah, let me see. Let's put this down. Let's put this down as I have.
Could you leave me in peace?
I could, but I won't right now. So this, these, and well, helmet, like that. I don't have those. Amulet, well, maybe this. I mean, literally with this it is a +3 to all skills, so would be actually relatively fine. And also, this one is better than this one. Overall, though, I like this one more. Like I said, the Athena's battle greaves are just, you know, just like these Binders cuffs. I actually thought I would equip those, and then obviously, shield. I actually don't have one yet that is, like, I really haven't gotten many particularly good shields. Well, this obviously, and amulets, well, we could just go with this for now. Let's see where this actually gets us. Especially for the health as well. So, although I really don't like the mind control. That is one of those things that I could do really without. Let me see. Oop. Database. What do we have first? Okay, I gotta put this down, otherwise I'm just gonna forget it. Okay, we do have, with those items that we have here, we would have, first of all, the Yada Emperor's Talisman. So I'm gonna put down basically just the resistances for now, and then we see what we actually get extra on top. So with this Yada Emperor's Talisman, I would have fire, cold, and lightning resistance. Then we have the pierce resistance. We have the put it here, then I'm not bumping against the microphone. We do have the vitality, let's put it here. Poison, bleeding, and physical, since we found out that physical is important. And I'm gonna put down stun as well, because stun is important. Okay, so with this one, I would have my 50, 60, and 50, and we would get a little bit of strength. Okay. Then with the Necrolord, we would have poison 90. We would have bleeding 60. Although those numbers can obviously change if I then actually upgrade the item, and with the blacksmith upgrade, there could be something else that comes from this. But well, also life leech. Life leech is another one. Let me put that down here.
Why, hello there.
Oh, why hello there. My chat is not functioning again. Fuck. Hey, Anas. How's it going, dude? Thank you very much for the host. I'm just theory crafting our next upgrades here. And obviously working with a not functioning chat. As you normally do. Here to lurk, still at work, but wanted to give you some love since you've been giving me non-stop love. Non-stop love, the 2 times that I've been around. Thanks, dude. I do appreciate it. I would also appreciate it if I had a chat, but still. God damn it. Okay, there we go. Yes, okay. 2 more times than most. That is also probably true. I'm not even gonna deny that. It's pretty damn hard on Twitch to actually have other people, like especially when you're a guy, of just, well, someone just comes around and actually interacts. That is more than most guys can expect. But that is not how it should be. Like especially when they're putting on a good show like you. No, it was fun to hang out, so I did not actually have to put in anything. I enjoyed my time. So thank you very much. Yeah, we're just basically putting down what we need for actually finishing this up. The challenge run for the Deathless, and then getting the achievement, and doing the Hydra, and maybe farming a little bit more of some legendary monsters. Most of the quests that I have to do are not gonna be a problem for the build as is in the moment as well, so that's not gonna be an issue. But basically I just wanna kind of min-max a little bit before we go to the final stuff. But yeah, Necrolords. So, Necrolords, I did put down the poison and bleeding, vitality 60%. I mean, by itself that is already enough. But then 50 life leech. Although life leech is not a huge problem, I actually do want to have it, at least a few points. So we don't need the 80%, but over 50% or just 50 is good enough. +1 to the skills is also good enough. Good that I have a skill that actually gives me 30 energy regeneration. Okay, then the discs. So what I'm expecting is that with this setup, we are actually basically overstacking at bleeding. I just don't need that much, I think. Because then with this one, we have another 40%, so we're already at 100. And then we have Pierce, finally, with 40%, which is much more important for me. Cold, we have then another 50. I like that it actually comes down to flat 50. Much easier to actually calculate this way. Yeah, and this one is missing something. This one is just missing that little bit of extra oomph. And then with this one, we do have the armor protection, which is nice, but with this, I already have really high armor stats, so I don't even think I particularly need it, but still, it's nice to have it. 100 fire, that's gonna be good. We get the pierce resistance up. That's gonna be nice, especially with the other one that I've planned, and we get another 60. So we have 160 bleeding resistance, so we would get to 60%, which is nice. Actually 60% is good enough. And then with Aphrodite's favor, if I would find that, just if I would. I mean, obviously, like I said, the mind control I really don't like, but well, it doesn't matter. The stats are too good for this. We could obviously also go for another one with plus all. Fine, all skills. So Aphrodite's favor. As you can see, 900 instead of 500 health and much more resistances. I'm not quite sure why this one has those stats. Like even in the mind control, it actually was made better. Well, because this one is basically unusable. So, I mean, Chieftains, actually, physical resistance, pierce resistance, and health. It's not horrible either. Broadsword with 40% health can go up to like 45% and then has +1. That's actually also pretty nice. I'm not gonna equip this, but it is just like we basically don't need a Maoths anymore, and we still would retain the life that I actually came to expect. With this one, Breezing Man, we would, well, it's a Freya's piece. Obviously, I do have those two here. I would love to equip those as well, but not really good for my build in particular. Still would have +2 to all skills. The Run's favor does not come with anything that I need, but does have cold and lightning resistance, and lightning resistance we would need a lot still. So that would actually not be horrible. We do have 110 in cold because of the talisman getting the extra 10. So we would need 70 cold, like 90 cold is then good enough. The poison would get finished up. We would have the 190% then. And lightning we would have at least 120. And my pets get extra bonuses. Well, I would get extra recharge, which would be nice. This stuff I don't really need, and like I said, the rest is also useless, so I doubt it. Talk of Ancestors, obviously everyone wants this, so I'm feeling kind of inclined to say I don't want to actually equip it. Just simply on the basis that I don't actually want to equip items that everyone is using. What would also be pretty nice about the broadsword of Talos, of Talon. I'm always getting it wrong. Talos. God fucking damn it. Would be the 20% extra defensive ability, so I would already have plus 50% with the Toitates. So that's pretty nice. With this one, at least, well, piercing and a lot of dexterity. Just does not have the right ones. The Serunas, we do have Serunas stuff. We do have the harness. But it is intelligence based as well, so as nice as it would be, but not really mine to equip either. And Bandit's Kings apparently can't drop. Like, obviously, I would really love the total damage and the armor. And dexterity, obviously, but apparently it just does not drop, so fuck that. Fix your game, please. So, Talk of the Ancestors does have +1 to all skills, does have defensive ability, does not give any life, but does have total damage, and this one then would us overstack in bleeding resistance. We would get to basically the AD shield, or 70. Vitality, that would be pretty good, because we only have 60% there, and it would give us physical resistance. Extra pierce and some stun we also still really need. That is not too bad. But obviously the Talk of Ancestors I really don't feel like equipping it. But still. I mean, pierce resistance, then this one 100 extra. And with this one it is basically 130 that we actually need. Like, the bleeding is nice to have, but well, in turn, the Aphrodite's favor would give us also pierce resistance, poison resistance. Let's just calculate with the Aphrodite's favor for now. So with this one I would have the 160 in pierce. We would have, actually this is basically almost 50, so we would have already overstacking here, kind of. 170? Yeah. 170 from this. And then poison is also right now 50. This almost feels like I can't upgrade this because this is just gonna break. And 55 in elemental resistances, so we would have enough in fire. We would have 165 in cold, and obviously we get 5% extra, so I would have 70% there. So it would not miss much. And lightning also gets an extra 55. I should have put down this down at like 60. But okay. And skill disruption, which I'm not gonna put down. So basically, what is missing? A lot of vitality, which obviously is coming from the rings. I don't have a helmet yet, I don't have a shield yet. This one is then gonna be full damage. Still, it's only really 4 pieces that are left. So, in fire. Fire, I would have enough. Cold, I would need 10% extra. Lightning needs 70% at least. Piercing needs 10. Vitality would need 120. So we would need 2 rings for it. Poison, I do have enough. Life Leech I would have enough for my taste, and bleeding is also enough with this. You know, 120, 160, so we would have 60%. I feel that is good enough, yeah. Do we get physical resistance from somewhere? No. But I would have attack damage converted to health, which is nice. And also the extra life leech, obviously. So I could put in Let's see. So that is what we have this for. I need... Well, I need a... Yeah, actually, all skills is not the worst. I don't know why there's multiple Ares pieces. Like, you know, I now have the Ares spear, and it is just not doing anything with the Ares war helmet. I find that kind of weird, and at least this one would give me the stun resistance. Physical, 100 strength, ancestral warrior. That is interesting. Bleeding. Well, would be enough at least. No. Not really, but still. So I do have this one, but I'm not gonna put that on. Still, it would have +1 to all skills. How about we are gonna... Oh, I do have the Helm of Conqueror, and I just... That fucking stupid piece. Like, it does give -20% player level requirement for items, which is one of the only items that actually gives this. And I guess it is strong with war and defense, but otherwise I just don't see the appeal. Like, it does give offensive ability, but that's just about it. Maybe I should look specifically for the Spirit Mastery. Mask of Ahiroe. Obviously I can't find it, but it does have +100% life leech and attack damage converted. I mean, it's not bad. Less damage from demons is also pretty nice, because those are kind of a problem for me still. Mystic Circle activated on low health. Huh. Okay, that's not bad. Still, not what I would equip. Now, I'm looking for something special here. Something like the Fleeting Memory. What do 2 out of 7 items even give? Literally nothing. I'm not quite sure what that is supposed to be. Bow and stuff. So I guess this is supposed to be like 5 out of 7 if I'm interpreting this correctly, because you can literally only equip 5 of the items. So I'm thinking that the 2 out of 7 got put into the 3 out of 7, and then it does not stack up, because this should only be going up to 5 out of 7. So I guess then I should already get like some physical resistance and whatnot if I would put on like the helmet and the shield, for example. I mean, the shield does give me a pretty good death ward at least. That's for sure. I don't know the shield. The shield has the same recharge. So basically I would save a lot of points. I would save 8 points on the death ward with this one. I mean, that's a thing, I guess. And this one has -30 energy. Okay. But still. Oh, we have we have minus... perfect. We have -14 elemental resistance already. Okay, that's... might not be worth it. Activated when equipped. Death Chill Aura. Does the Death Chill Aura actually stack up? Because I don't have the Perishing Form yet. Does this actually stack up with the other Death Chill Aura that I have from the Spirit Mastery? And does then total speed go together on the opponents? That would be kind of interesting. Like, obviously I don't get the necrosis and shit, but that's actually another thing to look up. Something that reduces resistances. Anyways. All skills. Now, I was looking for something like the Visor of the Shadow Lord, which does have +1 to all skills, Does have 50 stun resistance. So we would at least get that together. Has energy leech. Well, nice enough to get 80 from this one. This one is strength based, but has like relatively low armor stats, relatively. So for that, it would make sense that I get the 30 from the Toitates. We would get, well, we would get life leech from this. We would get 80 bleeding resistance, so bleeding I would just overstack. We could lose then with this one 120. So with this one we would already be at 200. So we have 60 too much. So I could actually unequip this for something else. or somewhere else. I would have even more life leech, but I don't need that. That is plus 50 from here. And then elemental resistances. So we would have a little bit too much fire. Let's say plus 20. And then we would have the cold together, and unfortunately we would need another 50 in lightning. And then Pierce, it does not have. Pierce I can get from somewhere else though, I think. And we would not have any physical resistance. But we would get defensive ability because I get another 210. And with this, obviously, we would have the +4 to all skills actually reached. Which is another... all ski. Let's call it all ski. So I would have 1, 2 from this. And then we would reach it. So with this one, what do we have on the Necrolords? 60%. So with this one, I would actually have plus 100% life leech, which would be relatively nice. Life leech then would... I mean, from the Necrolords, I do get the... basically, I do get the empathy trance. So I could, instead of the empathy trance, have the 20% damage absorption. At least we would not lose energy anymore. That is pretty nice. What exactly do you give me?
I'm trying to read here.
Okay, so it is just energy regeneration, but still, we would at least have energy regeneration. And yeah, 20 damage absorption. We could also, obviously, I would get extra electrical burn. We could have then 40% reduced resistances. That is a possibility. I mean, 4 more one-shots. Unfortunately, this does not give me vitality damage. That's relatively sad. None of this really gives me vitality damage. And like I said, we are still missing 10 in piercing, which is, I mean, good enough, but still I would want it. And we are missing... Vitality. Vitality is a big one, huh? Vitality we would get from the legendary Demon's Blood. So, I mean, I still do need casting speed, which even in this one, so that would not change. Unfortunately, with this, I can't actually get... Well, I can get pierce resistance with this one, 26%, so then we would actually stack up. Obviously, I would have enough stun resistance already. We would still only come to... well, 100% if I, have other completion bonuses. So then I would not get full vitality with this alone. How much damage can I get from shield and spear then? Well, the offensive ability is still relatively shit if I do equip it. That's gonna be an issue. And obviously I do still have, like right now we do have 12% here, 25% here. This one is still only then 28%, so it gives me this and this basically. So right now this is 31%, and with this one I have 56% extra. Well, we would not need that much armor. Like in this one, we would have, well, 500. It's still gonna hurt if I'm getting hit there, but 500. What are we gonna put on there? I do get, well, I still can have obviously 12% resistances that go to something. So it could go to lightning, for example, and it could go to vitality, but I highly doubt that. I think I only get like bleeding and poison. And I still do not have any physical resistance. What about... physical damage? So physical damage, Dianakis Shade, well, or you with some elemental resistance, and this one then does have offensive ability and strength. Oh. Well, I mean, at least I could still equip basically what I want here as well. Like I do get the casting speed and health, and I do get the strength and health here. Which we are still looking for better ones. I'm not quite sure why we haven't found any yet. So that would basically stay the same, and then I would have enough vitality resistance. I mean, we would not go much lower than what I have here anyways. And then I can still actually equip this if I wanted to, but I would then much rather go for attack speed and damage in this, if possible. Still, I'm missing life. I like the 900 here, and I like that we get to keep this. But I'm still, from my perspective, we are still missing then the 25% life. I would want to get that. I could obviously put on an Ankes, an Ankel. The Priam's Gate, well, the Priam's Gate would have the 420. It does not give vitality, so like it literally is useless then, but does this actually give me, well, physical resistance? Can I get a shield with high physical resistance? Yes, we do have the we do have the abyssal. I highly doubt that is gonna do something. By the way, demon, you give me, well, either fire or elemental resistance, but oh no, shit. Okay, so this one does not give me. I need to equip one of those, and then it literally does not give me the pierce resistance, so I could not actually get that. That's obviously sad. That is obviously not good. Well, nah. I still need the vitality damage resistance. If I just have this, then I have 85. $85, 60, so we would be at 45%. No. Oh, no, 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 no. God fucking damn it. Min-maxing is hard, dude. Min-maxing is already hard in this game. What am I gonna do in PoE? Well, at least in Path of Exile there is no real min-maxing. Like, yes, sure, you can look for some finishing numbers, but you're still gonna end up with weaknesses. While with this one, I would rather just, well, in Titan Quest, you're kind of looking to actually be without weakness in the end when you're min-maxing, so. I mean, Reach of Helios, I'm pretty sure I have this already. No, we are looking for a shield that actually gives me, well, Shield of Skuld, less damage from demons and ghosts is nice. Has the vitality, has the pierce, has extra poison, has intelligence, has total speed, which is nice. Rune Word Absorb, I just can't do anything with that. Skuld is actually pretty nice then. 80%. We would equip another 50% with one of the rings. We would get 50% from a ring, so we would have 130, and then we are basically up there with vitality. So that would actually be worth it. This one is strength based, but I do get intelligence. That does not make sense, but at least I would get 10 total speed. We would also be a little bit tankier against demons and ghosts, so that's nice enough. My pierce resistance is a little bit overstacking, that would be nice, and my poison is also then quite high. I actually could drop one of the other items for poison then, because I would not need it. So Skuld would be one of those ideas. Vitality, vitality damage resistance. Well, premonition, sure. I do have enough life leech now though. I don't need any more from that. I'm still wondering about vitality retaliation. Minus 66% skill disruption protection. That is weird. Why? This one would have armor protection. The volume. And I would get another 50% here. I mean, sure. like this one, the Anaxaretius, Anaxaretius is kind of made then for this. Vitality Lightning gets dexterity and strength at least 50 points, and I think the damage is high enough that it blocks. I'm not quite sure. Like, obviously you're blocking the effects from the damages, or from the attacks and skills, as well as you're doing with the damage itself. But it would have 15% physical damage on top. That's pretty sad that this is not part of a set. It does have vitality damage, which is nice, but otherwise activated on low health Rune Storm. Huh. I don't see much here. Do we have... Well, I mean... The Onyx Touch is nice. 20 health retaliation. Has flat reduced resistances. That would free me up for quite a bit. And has reduction to enemy's health and does have a lot of vitality damage. But it does have minus 20% to health. Still, I like the spear. This is usable. We can still do something with this. Well, with this one, at least we would have full resistances. But I'm lacking a lot of life, I reckon. So, well, either we get a Mammoth. Where else can I get this? I mean, Ritual Cleaver is one of those items that you just want. Because, I mean, fucking hell. Has attack speed, has resistances, has attack conversion, has vitality, has flat elemental, and then plus 40 to his physical damage. Which does not get converted, so you really, really would want that. It can actually drop from Suitor, but... well... Fafnir, the transformed Duergar. I'm actually really surprised that the Ancients would actually drop this. Jotun Hero. Raven Warrior Hero. I'm probably... I'm probably most likely to actually get this from a Vengeful Ghost than from anything else. But yeah, Ritual Cleaver, I guess, would be another one for damage that we could put on. This one has the high life leech, has reduction to enemy's health. Although not as much. And does have +1 to the Spirit Mastery, so that's nice. Oh, and it can not drop anywhere. That's perfect. That's... fix your damn game. God damn it. I'm still wondering about this one. Reduction to enemy's health and health reduction retaliation. Minus 30% health. I'm really wondering about that one. Physical resistance, Blood Boil. Blood Boil is pretty nice. Huh. Fafnir's Heart would be... and the same thing. Where do you get it? Well, not really from Fafnir. You still get more of a chance to actually get it from Surta. That's so fucking stupid. Okay. Still. So we could min-max with this, relatively. We would not get any physical resistance with it though. And we would still obviously need the Shadow of Device. Wait, I I actually have to look this up. This kind of goes together well because the Helm of Odysseus and the Band of Souls, you know, 30% for the high life leech retaliation, and this one 66%. So I guess together they would actually activate. Not quite sure. But yeah, this one just gives no resistances. If this one actually gave resistances, then it would be really good. But you know, just 5 and then not even that much health. Like this one would at least need like 600 health or so. To be considerable. And yeah, this one is Vitality, has Spirit Mastery, has Recharge, and does have Vitality. It's not horrible. This is actually not horrible for what I would need. Still. Pierce, Lightning, Vitality. Chance to avoid projectiles, yes. Total speed and a chance of health reduction retaliation. I mean, I guess I could also put this one in. It does have not enough armor really. Like I'm still gonna get hit hard with this, but at least 15% chance to avoid projectiles is nice. And then it does have Vitality, Lightning, and Pierce. So all of the stuff that I would need to finish up on. And like I said, I don't need the bleeding. I don't need the life leech. It's just the +1 to all skills. But by itself, this one would also be worth it. But do I really not have... I actually thought I had a Vizier of the Shadow Lord somewhere. I thought we actually found one of those. I'm not quite sure. That would be... Maybe I just looked it up too much on, you know, on the database that I'm just, you know, thinking it, but I was pretty sure that we had something like it at least. Conquerors, Legionnaires. Okay, it's not here at least. But I do have my Plautons here. And the bracers are... the bracers are somewhere completely different. Perfect. At least I know I have Helios Fury, because I found another one and I actually just sold it because I thought I had it. So I know. Okay, twice. Good enough. Oh no, I do have the bracelets here. Did we find them twice then? I think one of my viewers mentioned that he would need bracelets, so if that is the case, then I'm guessing I have 2 of them. I could give him 1. Gotta find out who that was. Yeah. None in here. And I don't think I actually have to look too far back, because then I just don't have it. Although we did stack up from like the last farming and in Legendary, so we actually stacked up the most items there. But I don't think the first 2 actually had many endgame items. So yeah, Spectral Defender here. I do have the Reach of Helios, exactly. Nice. The Huikibong, that is pretty good. The shield we do have. So at least in this one, I'm actually, like, this one has Life Leech, reduction to enemy's health, and conversion. And then together with this, it actually has extra life leech and attack speed. So I found the most important items of this set at least already. But yeah, it does not seem like we have... Nope. Well, I could put on 20% health from this one, and I would have reduced resistances with this one. So that would actually replace me a Mammoths, basically. It's not horrible, I have to look this up. We have the Alexanders, didn't we? Let's just look up what items did I have. What items would I lose? Let's become aware of that again. What items would I actually lose if I had to delete them by dying? I think that's probably probably still interesting to just become aware of that once again.
The best storage for our hero.
I mean, not bad. It's not horrible. Still. Okay, so I at least know that we don't have a Visor of the Shadow Lord. At least I actually am aware of that now. But yeah, we do have the Helm of the Conqueror, which... just why? Persephone's Caress, that is nice. Okay. And then the first one, well, bunch of blue items. Although it literally did take me pretty long. I tried to hold out as much as I can without making mule characters. And then, you know, the consensus was that I actually do then... I mean, this one also does have Pierce, Life Leech, well, if this had Vitality, right? But yeah, the consensus kind of was that I, you know, then delete the items if I do die, so... Okay. Okay. I see. Actually better items than I thought, but does not matter too much either. So, what was the ones that I had in here? Anything useful for what I have?
I brought goods imported from the island of Zante.
Oh yeah, also, where did I get Pierce? There we go. There's my two Pierce ones. So, I have one with Relentless of the Falcon, which is physical and attack speed and Pierce. And then I have this one, Piercing of Eagle, which is the highest Pierce ones. So yeah. I actually thought about, hey, what if I make a, you know, a Pierce damage build? Sounds fun, right? Oh, I looked up the Achilles shield as well. That we do have the Achilles spear and the Achilles shield. I can show that to you here. Spear, Achilles, and then Patroclus. This would also give me 25% health. And it does have physical resistance, it does have pierce damage, it does have physical damage, and it does have attack speed and offensive ability. So this one is actually another pretty solid choice that I could take. But as you can see, like, this always has like 190 offense and the 280 defense. I wish it was higher, but still. I mean, by itself, it is still 350 offensive ability, which is relatively nice, and then it does have strength, and it does have at least a little bit of health. So it is basically no resistances, like, 10 physical, but it does have damage. It is a pretty good set by itself, and then with this one I would already have 25% extra health. So like, for itself, this is pretty damn solid. Obviously, more physical damage would not be bad, and then with this one at least I would get some resistances. The health regeneration here is not really needed, but yeah. I wish then this one had, an extra oomph somewhere, because 2 pieces together are pretty much good enough. You don't need the 3 pieces. But yeah, I would upgrade those then, I think. Like, this is pretty strong already, especially then the 25 health. I can really use those. Do we have percentage health? Percentage health regeneration, that is obviously exactly what I need. Huh. So the last Emperor, I actually wanted to use that one in another build, but never got around to actually do it. We would get another Whirlwind with this one. Soul Harvest does have... Is it Life Leech and plus percentage Life Leech? Or is it either Life Leech or percentage Life Leech and then Energy Leech or percentage Energy Leech? So is it 4 or is it 2 different modifiers that can occur here? And then Slave Spirit I just don't need. I don't know what the bonus damage here is. Guess it just has bonus damage. But yeah, and Slave Spirit is not useful. So Soul Harvest, unfortunately, not a particularly useful one for me. The Mabudi's Advocate here, obviously Study Prey would actually be pretty nice. I would actually like it, but that is just by itself not good enough. Even if we do find Relentless or something like that, it just is not. It's just not what I actually would look for. So yeah, this just all gives me percentage health. So percentage reduction to enemy. Okay. Let's look. So the Amazek banner stack has physical, but obviously that's not a spear that I would go for. I wish I could actually filter out the Atlantis items, because those are just bogged. So yeah, Sacred Spear of Nephthys does have physical damage, does have energy leech, does have elemental resistance, spirit mastery, the fear, well, and then has some reduction to enemies' health. It is basically the same as what I have with the Nemetona. Just with this one I do have vitality. Oh yeah, and the life leech, so can't really get rid of that. which would be what I would have to put on the Mabudi. So I can't actually even go into damage. Like, I would have to put on the Life Leech on top of it. So we would put on something like the what is it? The Shrieker's Heart? The Heart of the Fury. Because it has 100 vitality damage, and then it actually gives the 144 life leech or so. The Quan Yin's, that is the other one that I was actually looking at least it does have elemental damage, and I can boost that. You know, offensive ability, strength, that is nice. I would obviously lose the Spirit Mastery, but that's fine. But yeah, it does have 20% chance for basically the same reduction to enemies' health. And it does have a chance for total damage, although that is so low, I'm not quite sure what to do with it. But still, it does have a lot of physical damage. So yeah, by itself... And yeah, like I said, the Onyx Touch... the Onyx Touch doesn't have a lot of vitality damage. And it does have health reduction retaliation, which is nice, and it does have 30 reduced resistances. That is, you know, pretty amazing. And then on top of that, with the vitality self-buffing, you also get the reduction to enemies' health with the reduced resistances. So by itself, the Onyx Torch is a really, really efficient item for what it does. And the minus 20 health, well, that's just what we would have to deal with. I guess it would be cool if I got Mammoth on the Achilles armor, and then I could put on Achilles armor and shield, for example, to actually get plus 50% health. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, like I said, Ladon's Maw, blah, we have that, we have Moro's Wish, which is basically my Nematonas. The Touch of Nyx, that one would actually also be fine. The Crow I actually was really looking for, because 50% defensive ability. I actually really like the idea of it. The Skeletal Darts, I guess I could by now also use those. But yeah, Death Wings, we have this one. And... well, the rest is just not really worth it. Swords, I'm kind of like, yeah, Blacksteel Executioner is is interesting, has a lot of reduction to enemies' health, if it does occur. I like the reduced armor. And yeah, the damage is good, but otherwise meh. This one though does have 20% reduction with a fast weapon. Has 100 physical extra. Self-buffs at Pierce and then gives conversion. So by itself, the Dragonbone Blade, but like I said, that is an Atlantis thing. It's not horrible. The Hoikyubing, unfortunately, like I said, you have to, 4 out of 5 items to actually life leech more. But by itself, I already found the 2 items that give life leech on by itself, so it's nice enough. Just for those 2 items equipped. Sword of Damocles, well. Ravenspeak, well, has reduced resistances with quite a range. Nah, there's nothing here that I particularly would use. Of course, the Underwanaut, that is a little bit stupid. The Golden Decapitator, 10% chance for one of those things, so that's just basically never going to occur. But does have 300 offensive ability. Like, Golden Decapitator is actually a really, really good one. I'm still not sure if I would even equip it still. But yeah, has a total damage, has really high base damage, and then plus 300 offensive ability by itself. That is almost the highest one, I think. Not quite sure, maybe there's one with 400, but yeah. 300 by itself, one item. Pretty good. Mortis Answer, we obviously have it. Has Life Leech, or we would want that for Life Leech reduction, flat, or can always occur, and then physical damage by itself. But like I said, Atlantis, so kind of redundant to even think about it. Although Whale Slicer can drop, but as you can see, Mortis Answer cannot. It's just sad. Oh, yeah, this one. Figurehead of Nagelfart. This one I actually would think about as well. Has Vitality. But it does have the 10% for 50, so 10% less than what I have. But it does have the 100 Vitality. And it does have total 40 damage. Or 40% total damage, which is for the high base damage, actually pretty solid. And is also then obviously self-buffing. And yeah, gives me +1 to the Spirit Mastery as well, so interesting at least. I like to think that the Grim Companion, it's actually like talking to you when you're reading it. Kind of like in Vampire Hunter the Bloodlust, where he is actually talking with his hand. It kind of reminds me of that. But yeah, I think we actually get Life Leech on this then. That would be pretty nice. Life Leech. Unfortunately, I can't look for flat Life Leech, so we have to look up for everything here. Well, we do have Deceptor of Thanatos, and it is just not as good as I would want. Vitality Decay, I still don't know what it actually does. I would have to look that up again. But in terms of spears, obviously, Spear of Nemetona. There's just no way around the spear for me, because this one does not have Life Leech. I would actually equip the Kuan Yin's Final Mercy, if I find it. But I would equip this, if not for the Life Leech then, that is missing. Ember Herald, of course it cannot drop 450 Life Leech. Of course it cannot. Who would have thought? Such a bamboozlement. Like I said, I really would want to just filter it out. Just filter the, filter all of the Atlantis stuff out. Yang gives me health. Yin reduces enemies' health. Interesting. This one has the Life Leech and this one has the plus 100%. Like, I think in Life Leech I would actually do pretty well. Runeblade gives armor protection. That's a nice. But yeah, percentage Life Leech. Sword of Kovu. I've never found that one as well. Dream Mastery. +2 to Phantom. 17. Yeah, this is nothing. And then this one is more of a Life Leech Retaliation, so it's not... I would still think about Deimos. I could put on Deimos. Then we could also put on another Talis or another Amulet. We don't have to use the Aphrodite, but obviously the Aphrodite is too good for me to skip out on it. But yeah, this one does have Life Leech, it does have physical damage, and it does have offensive ability, some resistances, and these skills. So Deimos is actually a really good choice overall. And then if I do actually have this with +1 to all skills, on the Phobos, well, I would have more life leech retaliation, and I would have, 40 attack speed, and then even more offensive ability, and then I get my +1 to all skills, and the completion bonus for attack damage converted, so... and yeah, the Q Doimas, you would not actually equip at all, because this one is just not doing much. So you would get a better weapon and have just those 2 items, which also then give the life leech retaliation. Still, this is not what I'm particularly looking for. Shadow Form Band. Band of Souls, no. Band of Souls, how much do we have on the Band of Souls? Wasn't that a lot more that we had on this? I thought it was a lot more. 70%? Nah. No. 84%, yes. I would call it a lot more. So, like I said, it just does not occur that way. It is nice to have energy leech retaliation, it is nice to have life leech retaliation, but with a 30% chance, it's just too low. Like, if you're already splitting it up, I would give it 50%, but then I guess it is too strong. But yeah, as it is right now, it is like that's as good as it seems at first. It is more of a gimmick than anything else. But the life leech is a lot. So if you can maybe upgrade it in some way. But yeah, there's nothing else that actually gives me... Yeah, the Aru Brewing. Well, this one actually, the Bloodstone does give me, and this one actually does give me improved duration on life leech. That's not horrible. It's not something that I would actually be against, because leeching longer actually does do something for you. Bonus to all pets, life leech, 60 elemental resistance, but then actually buffs my pets. That's not horrible either. And yeah, here either the Anubis with attack converted to health and life leech, or on a charm, the Fury's Heartblood with vitality damage and then life leech. That would basically be what we put on. We could have Membrane with life and energy leech, and then has life leech by itself, so that would be self-buffing. But yeah, I really highly doubt it. And yeah, this one, it gives me a lot of bleeding damage. It does give me a lot of life leech, but not worth it. God damn it. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm even now not quite sure. I mean, at least we have it mapped out now. And hey, Darth. Oh god. How long have I not... When have you written that? Where did my chat stop? Hey, Darth. This is gonna take a moment. How are you doing, man? Damn it, chat. I'm planning on where to go with this build with the items that I have found now. If I could actually already upgrade for endgame before I go there. But unfortunately, god damn it, is my chat really not working? Fucking pissed, dude. Why? Why is it so bad? I really have to get a second monitor. It's just unbearable to do this over the phone. I'm just not getting a chat. It's literally just straight up not working. At least I'm reminded that I have to turn on my lights before we are continuing with this. Yeah, so like basically I have the Toitatis plate. Well, I do my Aphrodite's favor. If I would find it, I kind of like just took it out. I do have the Disc of Mani now. I do have the Gauntlets of the Necrolord that we found yesterday. And we have the Yada Emperor's Talisman. So I was actually just basically looking at where does this get me? Where... and we found a Band of Souls as well. So, like, kind of, where does this get me overall? Would that feel nice? Would that be better than what I have here right now? And I do have to say, not really. In terms of tankiness, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. And it does give me a lot of the stats that I, would want as well. But they're just not... Oh yeah, the Disc of Mani, I actually forgot that those have Dream Mastery. So I don't particularly need +1 to all skills in that. I just need, well, I basically just need to equip my Spirit, which does have Spirit Mastery, so then I really only need a +1 jewel, but that does not actually, that does not go together so well. So, is my chat back? That's gonna be the first question, yes. Okay, my chat reconnected. So Darth, how are you doing, man? I'm sorry that you had to wait for your answer. And let's get some fresh air in as well. Because I've done over 1 hour of braining. So that means... that definitely means that I'm basically absolutely exhausted for like the rest of the stream. Yeah, Darth. Oh, hey, Thicker. I like the name, yeah. He just went away anyways. Okay, well, let's just do a little bit more farming. Let's see. Maybe I'm gonna get the really nice revelation of Stonebinder Cuffs. That would then actually make me just like, okay, now I'm ready for endgame. Now I just have it. Now you can't contest me anymore. I'm still not sure. Going back, my my hit chance is actually high enough. Like it is literally just in the higher acts that I'm missing so much. Around here, it literally doesn't matter too much.
Your inventory.
Really? Oh, right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Correct. I forgot about that. And this chest, I don't even really have to open it because there's just never anything in there. Once you have farmed this for a little bit, it's just completely useless. I should probably not open those either because, when we are already at a point where we don't get majestic chests, but they're good enough. I mean, I got the I got the Ares spear from the last run, so I should be grateful for that. It's not like we are not gonna find any items. I wish there was more area, so that I could actually, you know, one-shot them for a little bit wide of an area. Just 50% more, I think, would be good enough to get a whole group. I'm happy enough that I can one-shot this. But yeah, let's go Asgard, sort out the items, and then I'm gonna just farm a little bit more, and then we're gonna see if I have the revelation then. Otherwise, we're gonna end it. I don't really feel like ending it right now because I'm feeling so bad, and I don't feel like I'm doing a very good job as a streamer right now. So I really don't feel like being happy about finishing the challenge. I feel like I will just fail inevitably.
You can't hold anymore.
Well, I'm impressed. Remember, don't strike until you see the white of their eyes.
Sure.
Yes, I have magical storage even for you.
Let's get that. And do we have bracelets? Yes, we do have bracelets. So for the one viewer that was actually saying he needs Plautons and the bracelet is missing, I actually do have one for him. And yay, my chat disconnected again. Literally, I can't read chat. It's impossible. German internet, dude. Okay, Aphrodite's, and then everything. Everything is in place again. I still would actually like, you know, vitality damage, strength percentage, has percentage conversion, has extra life leech, has the chance for actual physical damage. I mean, the Ares Spear is actually really, really nice. I don't know why Ares Spear does not have attack speed. That does not make much sense to me, but yeah, by itself, my god. It is actually pretty solid. I'm wondering how much the 20% health reduction is actually worth it against the bosses. Like against normal monsters it doesn't even matter so much anymore. But yeah, against like just the life leech by itself, that this one then is obviously missing. And we looked it up, how easy it is to get life leech. Well, not easy at all. Did you enjoy the nice day today, Darth? It was, well, it was a draining day. But basically that is just me right now. Basically like yesterday. But at least today was also nice weather and not just very humid by itself, but actually sunshine as well. Wrapping some toilet paper rolls for a friend's birthday. Perfect. I'm sure he'll be the happiest person ever.
You'd better buy some of our stock, or the fungoids will get you.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not I'm not doing a particularly good job as a streamer right now. This one, I guess, like harrowing would be also a pretty good one for upgrading a weapon. But yeah, so that is why I just don't feel like I should end the run right now. Or even attempt it, because I'm just gonna fuck it up. Just as I know myself, I'm gonna disappoint myself. And that is basically why I'm farming. I'm just too nervous for anything else. I can't really trust myself. I wanted the Xenons, I wanted the Berserker Mantle. My spear, so that, you know, at least we have like 50 50 dodge and avoid. That would kind of make me feel better right now. At least then I would feel like it is completely in luck's hand if I lose or not. Now I really wonder, what is the best place to actually farm for Xenon's third paradox? I kind of don't know. And yeah, we've actually finished this one in 30 seconds, or basically 30. So good enough. And you definitely have a Berserker's Mantle. That is 100%, I know. I know it when I see a Berserker's Mantle. Okay, fine, it is a... Well, it is an Immortality Mantle, so good enough. Alexander's Pelter, we already have it, but... I mean, by itself, Alexander's Pelter with, like, basically, we have literally the same, I think. With basically 50% reduction in the, in bleeding and poison. It basically means that you don't need any big poison and bleed resistance anymore. Like, yes, it is gonna hurt, but it's only gonna get you to, like, then half-life instead of actually killing you. So those are really, really good resistances. Like, basically, basically halves the damage. If you, like, especially if you don't have any resistances against it, then it basically does all of the work by itself. Because, like, for poison, yes, a little bit more resistance would be nice, but for bleeding, like just taking half the bleeding damage, like it's good enough. Although bleeding does get relatively easily reapplied by, the trolls and whatnot, so in that it is still, like you still have to look up a little bit if reducing it is really doing all of the work that you want it to. Just because it does get reapplied and then it just never stops. So it will always hurt. Okay, chat. It seems my chat has finally gotten a grip of itself. And yeah, I've become pretty efficient with farming this in Legendary now. I do have to say, my build is actually working relatively fine. So I have very high standards for anything that I would actually replace.
You have no more room.
Ah, Herculean Shield, well, that isn't nice. And normally I would wait for those guys to actually spawn the golems. But the golems, well... with their drop chance, it's more of a thing like, if they spawn them, it's nice enough, I will deal with it. If they don't, it's not a big loss. Do you want an Alacrity Dwerger Forged Edge Mace?
Can I interest you in something?
Can I interest you in that? And yeah, I'm still wondering how we are gonna actually deal with the...
Are you looking for a proper fight?
Like, if there's anything other than immortality that I could get on the hail, that would actually be nice. And how we could actually replace the hail. That is basically one of my bigger questions right now. There we go. Complete waste of that. Nah, I mean, 1 minute recharge, it's fine enough. Like, at least I'm getting my energy back. It literally does almost heal me for full. Actually, now that I have only 940 energy, yeah, it basically heals me for full. So... sometimes I like to, when I'm just standing around at a Venner, then I'm just, activating the energy regeneration from that. Well, like I said, golems are a rarity to find. I still just have my 3 golem hearts. I'm actually wondering if I should build, just because we have so much problems later on with the offensive ability, if I should actually build a spirit hunt mastery character, because that obviously I would get a lot more resistances. Like especially stuff against like entrapment and such. But then it would also be much more of a boss killer. Offensive ability, yes, but also just general resistances. And I don't have to go into vitality anymore. Like I just can take the healing by itself. Obviously, right now it's also a huge thing of me actually. Like, basically, right now, the psionic touch is very much needed. It is doing so much. I'm still not able to quite know what happens here. When I'm sometimes hitting for very weird numbers from vitality damage. But you can see every time I'm hitting for basically 2300, I'm hitting for the... I'm not quite sure why it is a different value, but maybe it is because there's a range there. I'm not quite sure, but basically every 2300 is the vitality damage and deep psionic touch then from getting activated. So that is a huge part of my damage right now to bosses. And I don't... Well, I would have to find a way to make it even more viable. Like I said, I've been looking at what we have already found: the Achilles spear and shield, which would give me together 350 offensive ability and a little bit of attack speed and physical damage, percentage at least. And then with that I would also get extra strength, so maybe we could actually replace the hail with something else then? I'm just not quite so sure, there's just too much. I basically want to at least get, you know, my pierce resistance up now, and, well, like I said, I want to have positives at least. And for the moment, this is just not really achievable. So yeah, what I'm thinking about, 100%, we are gonna get... Yeah, see, like against those, it's actually working fine by now. That, like, I'm not missing that much anymore. What was I on about? Whatever. Does not matter. Let's go Asgard. Oh yeah, the Stonebender cuffs. If I actually, like, obviously I have replaced the old Stonebender cuffs. I think I've shown this to you already. We have found a second pair, and it actually rolled with cold resistance and defensive ability. So I'm already at a defensive ability where I'm not really getting crit so much anymore. Like, obviously, later on, if I now do something like Loki, I would still be very concerned about it.
You can't hold anymore.
But yeah, by itself, most normal enemies, if it's not the fire giants, I won't get crit so much anymore, which feels relatively satisfying.
Myself I have. Armed with
And also then the cold resistance, which obviously now we have 50 cold resistance, so it makes it relatively smooth for me. It is a pretty nice find. Also, I like it that we have a clean number here. But yeah, obviously, in terms of damage especially, yes, something like Alacrity or so would still be... Like, I mean, the best that could happen right now, obviously, like Mammoth. But now the best that could happen would be... Yeah, basically a resistance that I need. So cold is already nice enough. And then Alacrity. Or maybe something with dodge attacks would also be nice. This one is... have we actually finally found a ring that is better than the one I had? We found 2 Persephonus rings as well. Is this better than the one that I have had to use? 260? No, we had something better, right? I was pretty sure we had something better. Was it really 260? Wow, so yeah, no, that is that is a lot better. Okay, maybe not this. But yeah, that is a lot better. So that's one of the things that I'm actually thinking about exchanging, and now we have at least basically doubled the health from this. Still not the highest one, but it's a good roll. So that I can actually finally get casting speed. And I think in terms of damage, for me that is also pretty nice. So I'm losing not too much health, like at least... I could spend 1 point and then we get 8,000. That feels fair enough. So yeah, good enough. This one, by the way, I'm also like, this one actually does give me life leech vitality damage, but you know, those numbers are so low. But it does give me life leech by itself, and it does give me attack damage converted to health, which, you know, replaces a lot of other stuff which I would otherwise need to actually, you know, with the Necrolord, 4% health converted, and then I would need for a weapon or a ring that has actually life leech. So yeah, at least in this one I would have it together. But obviously not. It's not really good enough for me to equip it. On a lower level, if I'm not yet looking for, you know, specifics, then yes. This one I'm also, since I'm wielding a spear, I have been actually thinking about this. Obviously it's a little bit of damage, but I don't really want to give up the life. Still, it's a nice, you know, it's a nice ring to have. I guess I'm selling one of my 666 rings. Okay, now we have at least one upgrade here. Because yes, I'm looking for when I'm, you know, I have like the Teutates plate. With the Teutates plate, I would have 100 fire resistance. So then I would not actually need the, you know, I would not need the ring anymore. So I could actually just go and just, you know, have the casting speed for a little bit more of playing pleasure, I want to call it. But also because I actually think, for example, with my unearthly power, I would actually get more time out of it if I can cast my spells quicker, so that I don't have to waste so much time on animations. And especially where I say like constantly like, why does this spell not go off? Then I have to click it 2 or 3 times. I would actually then go and specifically... sorry, I was just really distracted by something. There's a girl on the other side of the road that is... She freaks me out in some ways. No, like... I don't know. She has been leaning out of her window, and I think she said hello, but I did not... I do not know her, and I do not want to have a conversation over the street, and she's leaning halfway out of the window from like the fourth floor. Like, no, this freaks me out. Please don't talk to me. Oh god. No, I'm just too shy to talk with girls, even in that setting. No, but she's talking with people like literally on the other side of the road from her window, and it is giving me social anxiety to just talk over the road with everyone below being able to hear. But also just, well, I can see her from my window. So I really don't want to be seen from my window in return, and I know that I can't do it like a dog, that like if I just pretend that I don't see her, then she can't see me either. You know, I actually enjoyed that one regard of living up here in, you know, on the fourth floor, that I have kind of my privacy. Like I can look down on the street, but they can't actually really see me if or you know, normally they would not see me if they don't particularly look up. So it's like, this is like a privacy invasion for me. Just stupid. Yay, supremacy. Wait, why does supremacy actually have defensive ability? I thought supremacy is offensive ability? Is then on shields, is it of defensive ability? But yeah, I'm getting 10% total speed out of the Covenant, and I don't think there's too much of a lag, but still, it is taking a little bit of time, and I would just want it to be a little bit smoother. But yeah, as you can see, like I'm basically approaching, if I, you know, dodge one skill, I'm basically approaching like 35-40 seconds for a boss. I don't need 2 3-shot bosses, you know, especially when you're actually on very fast. It really doesn't matter too much. Well, we found another answer. Interesting. I already have a good one for this, so it's not like I actually need this. But nice that it actually does give us... Oh god. Nice that it actually does give us a legendary. Okay, Darklands. Let's see what we got, because this one is actually not horrible. Okay, it got 26. So I have 35%, but this one is one of the has high avoid projectiles, has offensive ability, has a little bit of strength, and then does have shield recovery time, which is actually pretty nice, I think. Like by itself, like if I pick the other one, it is just a stat that I would otherwise not have, shield recovery time, and also that it gives basically, you know, 35% physical damage. It's just, you know, it basically weighs up a whole weapon. Look.
You look the worse for wear, wanderer.
But yeah, with 26. By the way, Darth, you actually said with the blacksmith use, the item would actually get its stats that it has normally now, like the 26% here. I could actually try to re-roll those percentages if I if I upgrade this item, right? So like if I have you know, an item with, you know, otherwise good stats, but I don't need them, and just the stat like here, the 26 physical damage. If I wanted to upgrade this, I could do it by actually re-rolling the stats on it and upgrading the item, right? I hope that I hope that makes sense.
You won't see me digging a hole.
And great to see the vibrators in the channel.
A sword or a
Finally. I hope it's a beefy black one. Okay, all the stats reroll. So I would then basically not want to reroll something like the Toitatis blade that I have with 28% armor protection, because that is basically already the highest one that it can get. So I would not want to ruin it, or like my Aphrodites with the 900 health. I would not want to actually upgrade the Aphrodites then. Well, or I can just upgrade it so long until it finally rolls with something good and I get the stats that I want on it itself. I guess that is also a possibility, eh? Darth, did you bring the vibrators in the chat? If so, I personally have to thank you. My god. This one actually hit quite hard. 600. Like, it does activate my death ward anyways, so now I have to actually be careful on top of it. I can't believe it that the vibrator almost killed me. I mean, I asked for the biggest one, but still. See, and that is why I have to beef up. Okay, that makes for a fine quote. I'm very happy about that one. So now we can't actually run into more chests. I just have to avoid all chests. But yeah, on very fast, there's just not that much of a difference anymore. So I don't even know if particularly my if my casting speed would actually be that particularly important now. Because like in very fast, you really barely notice.
You can't hold anymore.
I'm not quite sure why that is. Because obviously it doesn't make sense. The game just gets sped up. So it doesn't make any sense that it would actually be different from normal. Like in comparison to your normal speed. or to your normal other attacks, that you know that there would be any difference in the casting. But still, I think for at least the normal play, I often misclick. Jesus. He really is a shadow lurker. This game sometimes. Okay, run away like hell. From every chest. Oh, cunning.
You have no more room.
Actually, I should take a cunning. I was not sure if this one had a good item, so... Hollowed Helm of Grace, also not useful. I was pondering about doing the Hydra, by the way, but... Like, you know, when I'm actually farming around here, I might actually, when I, you know, already don't do the end game stuff, when I'm particularly hesitant of actually trying to end the game, that I at least look to finish up some other challenges. So we would do the Chang'an quest and like the Sorcerer in Chang'an and the Hydra. But yeah, as you can see, against the normal monsters here in Act 1, especially because I could actually not tank those beforehand. So I feel like this is smooth enough now. I don't need more than that. I'm not lacking damage in any way here. It's literally just later on when I'm missing so much that obviously I'm missing all of my effects as well. That it feels kind of unsatisfying. But yeah, if you had to make a build for me, Darth, what would you what would you go for? Would you actually opt into like physical damage or full vitality damage? I mean, vitality damage is really hard to buff, so I think I'm already doing the right thing and not actually going into it. Just, okay, I have a high base stat and I just have a lot of reduction to the resistances, so it really does not matter too much for me.
Welcome. You won't
But yeah,
find any finer
would you equip something like this?
honor and tear. Mind you, I've cracked a couple of Jotun's
It's a lot of vitality damage, I mean.
armed with my own weapons, of course.
I think the Dire literally doesn't do anything. You went full physical, okay. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of speculating that it is the same thing, and I obviously told you about the spear that I actually wanted. Because, you know, like a chance of like 300% physical damage, and then if I do buff it, and obviously I do have the Conquerors, which would give me, like, I mean, I do have a lot that can actually buff physical damage. I just don't feel that that gear-wise I'm actually then equipped. Like, I mean, we can still play this out. Just for physical damage, so... Oh yeah, and by the way, I found the bracers. The vitality damage is a nice bonus, yep. And like I said, with the Diviner, you have so much base vitality damage anyways, then it doesn't really matter. Obviously, this is a nice effect to have extra. And I think I do still like this, but... I mean, I could buff this as well. Where can which buffs occur? Because you said like the the rings and amulets can only have like torso and head armor extras that they can get from the blacksmith upgrade. I'm guessing that the same then goes to like all of the other upgrades, that it can only be torso and whatever that it can actually upgrade with. Or can on the other pieces everything roll? Like, are there any kind of restrictions to it that I would have to be aware of? The other thing, yeah, let's actually look it up. Let us. Also, now I've got 5 viewers. I don't know why. Yesterday I did not have any. The whole stream. Titan Quest. So. Well, obviously, Laggards, Athenas. I actually have 28%, and I do have 36 movement speed, and a little bit of extra health. So this is like, yeah. I'm. This one is kind of locked in for me. Like, obviously there would be other choices as well, but basically I would keep this. Like I said, obviously I would have offensive ability with this one, but you know, 10% movement speed, pierce and poison when I actually would rather have cold and fire, or at least cold. But yeah, so on arm guards, let's say physical damage on arm guards. The us Melkort's sparring reps, I'm not gonna have those, but we do have the Conqueror's bracers, which do have you know, health, 40% attack speed, shield block chance, and 40% physical damage. So together with the Uncill, we would then already have, but like I said, this is not good enough. So I would have to upgrade this with something really mind-blowing. Still, I really do like the attack speed. With the physical damage, we would be at 75. Yeah, basically 105. Obviously, Melkart. At least those have physical and vitality damage resistance and extra strength. So the Melkarts, I don't know how people find those. I think they are probably then also cheated items. I don't know. No, I don't know where they would drop. I have seen people have them, but whatever. Weapons, and all other gear gets torso affixes. Okay. Wait, only affixes? I thought we said affixes and suffixes. What am I talking about? Yeah, affixes, yes. I'm talking about prefixes. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. The Melkorts, where I would get those. Sure. I mean, at least it would make some bosses easier to farm. But yeah, I don't see anything else in particular. This one would at least, like, yeah, physical resistance. I really like it, and especially the strength. I would be able to actually then take another ring or whatever, because I just don't need the strength anymore. So it would be relatively nice, especially like also 40 vitality damage resistance. Like literally, it replaces me a ring, gives me a physical resistance, and then I have physical damage. So I could put on something like the Alke or something. So 110, and then I actually speculated about the armor of Achilles having, you know, with the armor of Achilles, 2 pieces give 25% health, and I do have the shield and the spear. We have not found the armor yet, but this one would have 40%. So I could have 150, 180 physical damage. obviously attack speed, and then I also do get offensive ability. So like at least offensively, and 10% physical reduction, but at least offensively, I would then, I just don't get any resistances with it at all anymore. That's just the baseline. I basically don't have any resistances. Little here and there stuff, but not for what I have to give up. But 20 physical resistance with this, and I would get still a lot of health, because this one is 600, so 1000 health from those pieces. I get 25% extra. I would get 25 elemental resistances then. All of them need to be upgraded, of course. At least you can upgrade a full set with one playthrough, like 3 items, 3 upgrades. Feels nice. There does not feel to be any good resistance rings, by the way. Like, no particularly big, oh yeah, absolutely amazing resistances. But yeah, then I do have a lot of physical damage. I obviously then do opt into Achilles' Spear. But like I said, still, strength, physical damages, blah blah blah. I also don't need that much dexterity anymore. So I can spend it all on health. Because like we don't need any strength anymore. We would have what would we have? We would have basically it comes down to 50, right? So like 140 or 130. Then the arms 230 plus 20%. Obviously, I don't get that much attack speed anymore. Like with this one, still would be something. But I would have over 200. 230 strength plus 20%. So we would be at over 250 strength from just that. And then obviously the battle greaves give me another 32. So I would be basically at 300 strength from just this. Obviously, instead of the Ancil, I then have the Achilles. So that is not gonna work quite that smoothly. What resistances would I even have? I would have 25 elemental resistance. I would have 75 then cold fire and some poison and some vitality. And that would literally be it. And well, 20 physical resistance, which is nice, but so I would have basically one more ring and the Mammoth, which I then basically, I'm basically keeping my health. Literally, it's just literally replacing the ring. Obviously, the Berserker's Mantle, which I then also planned for. There's, by the way, the Berserker's Mantle can drop from the Gorgon Queens, which makes the Stonebinder cuffs farming at the Gorgon Queens actually a lot more satisfying. But well, and then obviously total speed would give me a little bit, but still, that's still it does have 20 physical damage by itself. It could go with that. What do you have equipped on your Diviner? What is your gear? Like, because you said like you actually had like 50% resistances as your highest or that you were aiming for. What would your build look like then? Like, I guess because I don't need to actually spend anything anymore into either strength or dexterity at that point. Well, I mean, dexterity 400. I could go with the rest into intelligence, and then we are gonna have a head armor that is intelligence based, that actually gives us, well, I mean, I kind of need bleeding and life leech, you know, extra life leech from this is also, but I could then go for intelligence based armor, which has like, where's the stupid thing that everyone is equipping here? The Crest of Hypnos, which just does have everything here. Vitality, resistance, pierce, poison, elemental. So, like basically everything but... No, it does have bleeding resistance as well. So yeah, I would then equip that. I have not really planned much more, but I would equip that. Just for the resistances. Yes, it is. But I don't need any strength anymore. I have all of the strength that I want. I have strength out of the ass. So I just need to make a viable build in terms of resistances. So, like, I need only, for the Achilles stuff, I only need 400 dexterity. And I get so much defensive and offensive ability anyways, that I don't need to stack up to like 500, 600. And I mean, that I can get that no problem. So, I would be able to just put the rest into intelligence just to get gear that actually gives me resistances. But yeah, I mean, I only have basically the head armor anyways, so it would not really make that much sense. I would still like kind of and then obviously we would take the Torque of the Ancestors, because then we are just suckers anyways, and then, you know, go for like here, pierce, and then have 30% physical resistance. We have our 80% shield block, or 70%. Do you have a Torque of the Ancestors? Now I guess we would get dependent of Immortal Rage, and then give up one of the other items, and then we are gonna get Freya's gear. Oh yeah, bullshit. I mean, at least it would be unique, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it does feel satisfying to use. It is a pretty solid item for physical damage. See, that is exactly what I need from my games, because I'm just having such a horrible time. That at least I'm getting my thoughts somewhere else. Even though my brain instantly redirects me to shit. But that's exactly what I need games for.
Fungoids will get you. Don't get lost around here.
But yeah, like, I mean, if I could speculate on the Toitates getting Mammoth, then I would choose to speculate now. Did we have this long enough running now so that I actually get my... It is so stupid that I can't see the cooldowns. I mean, I guess a sense of adventure, but that I can't see the cooldown of my Death Ward. Like, literally in that regard, it almost would make sense that I just have the Shade with me, the Shield of the Shade, just so that I have an... I mean, I do not know if it would work, but, you know, if my Death Ward gets triggered, that I then have a second Death Ward that I can just equip. So that I don't have to stop farming or whatnot. Well, I mean, I'm still not stopping farming right now, but it is kind of sketchy. you know, nobody knows what is going to happen. See, the initial damage is pretty good. When I do actually hit, then it is absolutely fine. And yeah, now it's just like I'm a little bit smoother on that, on the activation. But yeah, so the big guy now takes less than 30 seconds if I'm lucky. So I could actually do this in a relatively fashionable time. Now, I'm not too big on time. It just makes the farming a little bit annoying. I mean, we don't have it yet, and I actually pointed out that the Touch of Nyx is actually kind of interesting. Also, the Shadow's Touch does not have any recharge. That's kind of weird, but okay. And yeah, like, has casting speed, has minus energy cost, which is pretty nice, but has minus 24 reduced resistances. Which I thought was interesting with the reduction of enemies' health on top. So yeah, interesting find. How are the bosses going with your build? Is it... I'm guessing you're doing a lot more than me then. Like, I mean, I actually do not think the damage is particularly bad that I'm putting on. It's just inconsistent. Like, when I do hit, I generally do hit relatively hard. And yes, don't give me big, majestic, and another assassin's harness. This is my third one now, so I'm not particularly looking for this. And we have found another one in the same spot already, so I'm not quite sure where the first one was, but the last one we also found here. Yes, don't let me run into trapped chests. Give me everything but majestic chests. It's exactly how it should work. Now, basically, I'm grinding for a second Mjolnir, or we found a Mjolnir yesterday, or more Freya gear.
Are you going or staying?
Depends. Depends are standing up alone. Okay, so I could get life leech if I upgrade another spear. Like, especially if we do take the Achilles spear, a life leech upgrade would also be really nice. I mean, I just can't speculate on anything. It's when I make those plans, like, it's never gonna hit that. It is nice to actually think about, but it's just never gonna actually hit what I need. So, kind of becomes useless at that point just to make a build revolve around, okay, I need 1 or 2 upgraded items, and then they need to hit the right upgrades. Because, like, I'm just not gonna get that. Like, it's probably better if I just take... I mean, it's probably the best if I take those items, upgrade them, see if it does hit what I want, what I need, and then it doesn't. 1 billion% of the time. And then I'm just, you know, making a build out of what we actually upgraded with. Like, what actually came out of it. I guess that is the most sound and logic way to do it. Also, this majestic chest never has anything good. Well, now it is trapped anyways. So I'm actually kind of thinking of just skipping this one at some point. I just use what I have. Yeah, basically, I mean, it kind of just goes like that. But I always like to actually theory craft more than I actually play the games. And so it's kind of the same in this. I like the idea of the build more than I like the build. But yeah, so basically, the shroom here, if I'm really good, like the last run we did of this, which now we are not gonna reach it, obviously, because just doing that attack again. But yeah, if I have good RNG and if I actually do have, you know, if I just hit a lot and actually get to dodge a little bit, then I can do this one in like 40 seconds, maybe even a little bit less. So like I would say it's not bad, like it's just all in my Dark Covenant time, which is what I would dedicate to boss time anyways. Like I just don't want to use much longer than the dedicated time. It just feels smoother. Like, hey, here's my boss killing skill. I'm actually gonna use that. And then it actually works out that while I have that buff running, I actually can kill the boss. So it at least feels smoother if I'm doing it like that. So that is basically all that my build has to be good for. And there's not much missing to that. So if I would hit one of the upgrades and if I would have the offensive ability, I guess. But like I said, right now, basically all of the offensive ability that I could get reliably is if I would equip the spear and the shield. You know, have the 350 there. So that it actually makes a difference. Because like I would say I need at least 900 offensive ability. That it would need a difference. That it would make a difference at all. But yeah, see, even here when I get stunned, I have enough time. Or, you know, petrified. I literally just put it down as stun because there's basically no big difference. Aww. The defeating feeling. When you look at chat, see, oh, new messages in chat. Oh, it's your chat disconnecting and reconnecting. I'm also not quite sure if I have like fake views again, but it definitely does feel fake when, you know, there's viewers in chat and they just don't talk, which, like, yes, I know there's lurkers, and I mean, if you have fun with it, then do it, but it always feels like, are those bots? Is this real? Doesn't feel so. From the streamer's perspective, it's kind of weird. So I'm wondering why a lot of streamers actually advocate for it, like, oh yeah, lurkers welcome. I'm actually like more freaked out by lurkers than anything else.
Yes, I have magical storage even for you.
But I mean, like I said, to everyone their own. I still just don't feel like actually ending it. I mean, I do feel like ending it all, but it's like not really. It's exactly especially because of that I'm not trusting myself to actually do the difficult content.
A human? Down here. You look the worse for wear, wanderer. You'd better buy some of our stock, or the fungoids will get you. Good luck. Buy something or get lost.
This is still my favorite chest. I don't know why they have it here. It literally doesn't make any sense. Okay, good. By the way, I wanted to ask, since we talked about Junji Ito, I looked through some of the stuff again, and the one that I actually, you know, wanted to suggest, was the One Mountain story, the Mountain of Gods, which I wanted to ask, what is your, like, which Junji Ito story actually fucked you up the most? Because for me, it was Army of One was one of those which just really eerily got to me. And it had a really not so strong ending, I think, but the actual build-up for it was, because it was kind of realistic. And the other one, like I said, the Mountain of Gods, which was more of like a, you know, the precipice of the unknown, that really freaks me out. Of like I really like how Junji Ito takes, you know, like the stuff that he actually draws. It doesn't matter if it is, you know, nighttime or daytime. It is uneery, and it is hitting the same every time. No matter, like, I can read this amongst a shit ton of people and still actually get, you know, can't wrap my head around it sometimes. Like it really is not so much about, you know, about it being really scary. It's literally just horror. it's this mind-bending horror that he expresses, that I really, really have to say, I don't know any other, you know, horror, not just mangaka, just in general, where it's just like, I could literally be in broad daylight and, you know, see a streetlight flickering or whatnot, and actually get the same uneasy feeling that I get when I'm actually reading it. Like, it's just with his setups, there's always this, like, there's always a human drama behind it that they want to build up, and, you know, like, seeing the deterioration of like society and whatnot. It always has something that actually gets to me, and well, in those where it is then the unknown that they actually become afraid of. Although it is like on the precipice of unknown, you know, going with an actual personification of a character, like, even though it is like maybe an avatar of, you know, something horrible, but like it does have a bodily form. And it is literally just like, I mean, it doesn't do much by itself. It's literally just, yeah, he's reaching out and he has a creepy smile or whatnot. But it is still, I find it still gripping, and I don't know why, because otherwise I'm never too, like, yeah, if it has a human body, I find the actual horror aspect of it not so great. And like I said, it is less scary rather than just the horror of it itself. This, you know, the feeling of never being safe and whatnot. Legendary, because I find the stories creative and sometimes funny. I mean, he does have he's a quirky character. I think you have seen that in the meme as well, that he's like
Can't have enough protection, I say.
uneery a little bit by himself. But you know, you would, he's just this quiet character that actually seems to have a, like, this Japanese, like, not zen particularly, but he definitely feels like at peace with what he's doing. And I do have to say, yes, he does have in his stories sometimes, like, there was this one zombie story that comes to mind where he made the zombies actually move super slow. It was just, you know, well, in that art style it is fucked up, but it is also just much more fucked up what he's actually doing, like with his girlfriend. Just, well, I mean, I can still have sex with her, right? No, dude, it's just... But I mean, like, why not? She's just dead, it's not... Yeah, no, yeah, as long as the body is intact. As long as the coronavirus can't catch you, I guess. It's just so stupid. In terms of eerie horror, I prefer Go Tanabe of Lovecraftian stories. I think I know what you're talking about, because that one is always mentioned in terms of like, have you got other stuff like Junji Ito?
You can't carry any more.
And yes, I know that. We've been listening to Lovecraftian stories read in by YouTubers, which was also I'm not quite sure if it is that, because I never particularly looked at that stuff. But yeah, obviously there's comics being drawn for it as well. That is then in, you know, black white noir style, more for Western audiences, but which also has this, you know, just if it's doing well and you know, following the base stories of Lovecraft, it does give that feeling of as well. I mean, there is something that it just like always then tries to capture, which I think goes for that stuff and for the Junji Ito stuff mostly. This creative aspect of how are you coming up with that? Because like by itself, if someone like Lovecraft would have made a story about giant balloon heads with nooses at the end of it, that you know, portray the people, he would have that is not his story. That is like not his eerie feeling to it. Like obviously it feels otherworldly, and it feels like out of the world, and then it also comes in with the drawing, which then obviously Lovecraft has also with his stuff, that it is always trying to basically not capture the actual horror. Like, you know, it is always trying to describe it with words, but when you're trying to actually bring it into a depiction of it, then it just kind of falls flat. Like, you know, you can show Cthulhu as tentacle monster, yes, sure, but that does not really do it justice from the feeling that it should give, or that, you know, when they look at a god and they just go crazy with it, or, you know, one of the old ones and they just go crazy, you can't really portray that through the you know, through the visual aspect so well, as the imagination could go with just describing it by words, which then, you know, like those art styles from the Japanese mangakas that actually, and I mean, in terms of horror films, there's probably nothing much better than like South Korea, Thailand, Indonesia. They have all like horror stuff, which is just like, you know, they are pretty good at that stuff. But you know, movies are not so mine. They're too loud and flashy for me. I need more of that psychological or that uneery feeling, which I didn't think like with Junji Ito a lot is like with the depiction, like in his spiral form stuff, Uzumaki series, where it's always trying to depict something that is otherworldly as well, but it actually is much stronger in the depiction being so crazy and otherworldly that is actually describing it better than the words that are actually in it, which I didn't find. Like, when you are saying creative, I would say on the creative edge, I would give it to, you know, in forms of words, I would give it to stories being told by Lovecraft, for example, by just, you know, he tells the story about how this character actually falls into madness through the influence of the old ones, and then I'm following the words and get that feeling. And with Junji Ito, I'm getting that feeling from the actual depictions of the crazy stuff that he writes, and it's more the underlying thing of, like, you know, like where the horror just you know, a little bit creeps in or sets up on of the actual words that are, because I'm not being, you know, terrified by the words that are being spoken by the characters. That is much more than going to the creative edge of Lovecraft, where it's like literally the words that are expressing the horror, and with the mangakas, where it is then much stronger in the depiction of it, where like it's still this unknown aspect of it. Like, why does this happen? Why, you know, like, obviously they're always taking an aspect, like, especially because Junji Ito always has this, that his characters are always kind of fucked up. Like, either they are depressed, they're getting bullied, they are doing something horrible, or they are just like Tomoe, you know, being this kind of shape-shifting or what is he? She is taking over different bodies in different timelines, right? So basically just more of a ghost, but that constantly gets killed, which is probably one of those parts that is actually where you're going to towards more funny. I find it kind of funny that the Tomoe or Tomioka, I'm not quite sure, the girl character that possesses the different bodies and comes up as a reoccurring characters in different stories, and then just you know, she always gets more fucked up as the story progresses. Obviously she's the middle point of the horror, but then basically she always gets killed at the end of the stories. So like, every time it's like, damn it, foiled again. Portrays it really well. I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, Tanabe is the one that actually tries to depict things that can't really exist. Like, he's going more like into shapes, which like I said with Junji Ito with the spiral shapes, but where he then looks like for snails or whatnot, so as a real world aspect to it, and then his characters transform into like metamorphosis, like in Kafka. But I mean, for Kafka, we could also look at Kafka for kind of a Kafka-esque, or I'm not quite sure, but I'm not that deep into the topic. But I thought Tanabe was about shapes that should not really exist, like you know, reshaping a body into like basically maybe a self-fueled perpetuum mobile that just like the organism kind of warps into itself, and that is kind of where his horror comes from. Where I would still then think it is like different from Junji Ito, which then more looks at like I want to transform the body. Like, it is body horror, but I do not want to bring an illusion about. I'm not going into this like what I'm thinking. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but Tanabe being this about like different shapes that he is. Oh, it's just straight up Lovecraft's. Okay, then I'm thinking of someone else. Then I'm actually thinking of someone else. There's one other guy that actually comes up constantly when Ito is mentioned, which is about this shape stuff, because like he just draws things that could not really exist. Like you know, when you see these like visual effects of like you know, where like he's playing with dimensions, and then one thing actually like, wait, there should be an ending here, but it's actually a circle or whatnot, like something like that. where that guy is depicting that, and then the body horror comes into it, because it's just like, well, where does one human part end and where does the next one begin or whatnot? Where then Junji Ito is different, I think, in that regard, that he is constantly about trying to, like, Junji Ito has the most detailed work out of literally basically anyone that I would have read any mangas from. But because he is then so detailed about the work, he is not about different shapes and bringing horror in by the actual like, there is body horror in it, but he depicts it directly. And he's in that, directly diametrically different from Lovecraft stories, where it's like just everything but showing. Like, it is tell but not show. and the Ito stories are always show directly and show the horror directly. Don't even particularly tell me why, or like, he always makes enough of a solid foundation so that it actually becomes like, well, at least in the story it is consistent. It makes sense for it to actually play out like that. But, well, apart from that, there's never any big military. Like, which I found, like, in The Army of One, I kind of find it interesting that they that even with the military, they can't actually do anything against it. And that obviously the military then in horror stories also always has to work against the characters. So the military would then always lock up a city so that they can't actually escape the horror anymore. That is like always what is happening, right? Or basically just, it's an experiment and you're just sacrificial pawns. Like, basically the military has to be evil. This is literally the first fungoid spore that we got from the big one here. It's just straight up. Okay. Yeah, post me something in the Discord so that I can look it up. Like I said, I actually mixed up the name because I do not know the other guy. There's a good chance that I don't know his Lovecraft stories then. Or his Lovecraft depictions. One good thing about, though, being fucked up recently, is that I actually get to start a little bit earlier. Which I think is relatively okay then. Are we gonna get Stonebender cuffs? Well,
You have no more room.
that's one thing we can get. Ah, fuck it. Not fast enough. I also will have to go back to original game speed at some point, and I cannot take it, dude. It's just impossible. Now, but I hope that the Loki fight maybe is a little bit easier when I come from very fast game speed. Because then, it would actually feel like perceptively slower. Because Loki, I literally can't... With Loki, I can't actually tell what he's going to do.
You can't
and
carry it
his
alone.
fight is always sketchy. I wonder why there's nobody else from the Titan Quest community coming around. Because like I've gotten some people in here and there, but
I've sold battle gear to Donor and Tyr. Mind you, I've cracked a couple of Jotun skulls.
like yes, I'm just farming, but I mean,
With my own weapons.
farming is also fine when I do find better items. We have been very slow tonight. I mean, obviously, tonight I just did what I wanted and theory crafted half the build. I think we already have this, right? At least let's farm one really good item.
You must have seen a battle or two. Remember, don't strike
Well,
until you
really
see
good,
the
but
whites of
let's
their eyes.
farm one item that is actually making it worthwhile.
Have a nice day out there.
Like I said, yesterday we got the Necrolords and we got a Mjolnir. So that compensated me for my shit day yesterday. What am I gonna get today? Probably nothing. Just suffer. Just fucking suffer, damn it. The mace is kind of stupid to pick up because... Hey, there we go! What did I say? Literally, what did I say? Wait, I can't kill you. Jesus. There we go. We've got it. Okay, game. Okay. Maybe I should be cheering up a little bit. Well, that was fast. 100 vitality resistance. There we go. Okay, now I can actually build a build with this. I still wonder, I have to try the sense of sleep at some point. Like, it should not work on any bosses, right? But how do you get sleep reduction? Like sleep resistance reduction? Like, can I put any boss to sleep? Wouldn't it be nice if you could actually put Tartarus to sleep? But yeah, there's literally not many items that you can find from those guys. Like, yeah, sometimes there's one here or there. Like I said, the Toitatis plate or, you know, the irises that I found from him. But otherwise, it's actually really difficult to you know, or you have to farm quite a lot to actually get items from them. And now one of them actually has the Hypnos crest. Feels satisfying. Feels like I actually, for once, did not get bamboozled by the game. Okay, so now that we actually got a good item from this run, I actually have to do the second part as well. Otherwise, I would just reload into... I would just reload to the Gorgons, but no, now... now we actually have to see. Legends, no. Damn it. Also, Kuras, nope. And I mean, we got one better ring, so... there's still 100 life that I could get. Yeah, no, 100, and then it would be like 130 overall. But yeah, there's still a little bit that I can edge out of there. But otherwise, we did at least get an upgrade for a ring. So it's not completely useless for me to, you know, to actually still do this. Because there's still upgrades that I can get with this build. I'm also really wondering, it's really just the seed of the game, right? That you have to play. Like, it's literally just the day that you play that determines what items you get. Well, and what character name you gave your character. But, like, sometimes it really is that, because I got, like, the one day where I got 3 irises on the same day. And no other day have I found irises. Like, that makes for really weird instances. Or that I can't find any Gorgons anymore in the Minotaur's labyrinth. Like, I've checked 3 days, and for 3 days they have not been spawning.
A human down here. You look the worse for wear, Wanderer. You'd better buy some of our stock, or the fungoids will get you.
Okay, I have one with vitality damage and the other one with life leech. Okay.
Don't get lost around here. Can't have enough protection. You won't see me digging a hole.
Yep. I get all of the protection. Wait, what would I need to protect myself from in the first place? I can't get to touch anyone anyways. That means they also can't get to touch me. Lucky me. And I think, yay, we got item duplication bugs again. At least from what I'm seeing here. And yeah, I still have to wait for actually getting an item out of that chest. That is unbelievable. All of the other chests have given me items. Just this one. Where did he fire that? Did he have input lag? Also sleeping, by the way, there's a huge range. Like, as you can see, yeah, you can literally see it there. Like, the one instance, I wake up instantly. The other one, I'm just asleep and asleep and asleep. So, yeah, there's a huge difference between the different sleeps that they can put onto you, so... also, when I'm already asleep and then he is hitting me with a second sleep, the second sleep is actually stronger than it would normally be. When I'm just getting hit by his blobs. Well, we wanted to find a second one of this anyways. So, good enough. When he's hitting me with his normal sleep blobs, then I don't have any problems. But when he's hitting me, like I said, when I'm already asleep, and then he actually throws one of them on me, then it seems to be much more potent than the singular instance. Oh, also recently, I've been starting to completely legally. Read the manhwa for Tower of God. Actually, pretty enjoyable. I have not gotten too far into it yet, but I mean, it has what, 450 chapters or so far. Like I said, I'm gonna take it out for myself that I don't have a second monitor to actually read my chat off. So until I've got that together, the 450 chapter manhwa has to wait to actually be bought. Oopsen. Entertainment does not come for cheap. No, I don't actually know. Manhwa, like, you can read it on, well, not Tower of God, but God damn it, what is it called? There's like a comic reader site that is actually legal that I've been reading, like, because I'm not reading manhwas normally, but there is some other ones like the God of High School. Is it always God? No, something like with High School that has recently also been worked on to get an anime adaptation, but what is it called? There's also a hugely popular series in that about Greek gods in a comic style.
You can't carry anymore.
Fucking hell.
Welcome, welcome. You won't find any finer arms.
I'm so bad with names.
Donor and Tyr.
It's embarrassing.
Mind you, I've cracked a couple
Whenever I want to tell a story.
myself I have. Armed with my own weapons.
Okay, at least I can chalk it up to the last 2 days have not been easy for me, so.
White of
I
their
hope you
eyes.
brought something interesting with you. Your entrance was surely... Wait, I have more.
I know that's not a good excuse. Okay, well, we are here. We are gonna do the Hydra, right? At least try the Hydra out and then... Wow, that's not even pretty. Please get your spear away from me. See, and for that, you actually have to be ready. God damn it, skill disruption. I mean, this spear, actually, reduction to enemy's health. Okay, it's not harrowing, but still. Skill disruption and offensive ability. I also, by the way, skill disruption I did test when I was looking for the other farming place. I did test it without the Trance of Wrath on the first Telkeen, if he still actually gets himself interrupted, and he does, even when I don't have the Trance of Wrath on. So it can't be the skill disruption of mine that actually interrupts him there. Like, he literally is just bugged. Or maybe that is just what he wants to do now, but no. Like, sometimes he will just stand around and not cast his spell, and then go somewhere else, and then work on it again. And at some point he just actually gets it through. Yeah, I don't know either why it is that way. Who actually profits from this bug? See, those are the one-shots that I actually want. Okay, what would we equip? Well, we would equip this for the bleeding. And then I have even less lightning resistance and less cold resistance, so... we would get the talisman, so that I at least have a little bit of cold resistance and the lightning resistance, so the lightning attack does not hurt me that much anymore. Poison, bleeding. I think we can try the Hydra, right?
Yes?
Are you actually ready? It should feel like I'm actually doing the Hydra before I'm ending it, right? We have done all of the other stuff. Yeah, but now we don't get one-shots anymore. Feels bad, man. Oh, and I should not have actually equipped this. I should not have actually equipped the talisman yet. Because now, obviously, I don't have the ability. Which would have, like, if I actually just equipped it for the Hydra, it would have been much easier then. Because I would have 10 seconds of actually avoiding all projectiles. Hydra should be easy at this point. I would hope so, yes. Which is exactly what I'm aiming for, because if it's not easy, then welp. I'm not gonna do it in very fast either, so just to be clear, it's just gonna be so that we have all of the mythical monsters, that we have the Manticore, we have the, well, first we did the Dragon Lich, which is still my greatest monster. I don't know why.
You can't
Sure,
carry it.
Warhide I'm gonna take. We have done Fafnir. So next is actually gonna be... Am I gonna be working on clearing this out? Just because there's a lot of chests around here. You know, maybe. I don't think the game likes it when I do this. I'm not quite sure. Okay, okay, I see. Dude, I'm still taking damage. That feels... It should not be this way. But that is very fast for you. There's just no point in actually dodging anything. Or even trying to dodge. So at least I'm self-sustaining. I'm also thinking, like, if I would equip the Necrolords, then I already have my my attack damage conversion. So with that, I don't particularly need the empathy anymore. You know, you just grow out of empathy, and I could actually then finally get my damage absorption. Like, I mean, that was kind of the main thing that I worked on when I was theory crafting beforehand, that I thought maybe what can I get rid of in terms of rings, like set the hail or something, that I just don't need the extra strength anymore. Okay, we are just not getting anything. I want my positive bleeding resistance for the Hydra because I'm just never quite sure. I'm not... How much bleeding damage does the Hydra actually do with his attack if you're sitting at minus 80 bleed? Okay, well, this was not successful. But yeah, I wanted my bleed up, so that is why we have the Eulers. But in general, well, and because damage absorption. Being annoying as all hell. Oh yeah, right, I don't have any, my pierce resistance is down to -22, so I hope that we don't need pierce against the Hydra, because otherwise I'm fucked. It also explains the damage that I'm taking. Does not explain why I don't get any items. But yeah, I would really like it if my Death Ward did not get triggered. Hey, some Jaguar Claws. Okay, there you go. Oh, electrical burn damage. Sure.
You can't carry.
Fuck. Why are those so big? But yeah. Bleeding damage, electrical burn damage, I mean, sure. I just have to make sure that we didn't take any stupid potions, so that I have the maximum there. And then let's put this to normal. And now everything is so normally slow. No, you need to before you actually put it just down for that one specific monster, I would suggest that you get used to the actual game speed again, because this is so fucking slow. So yeah, just to get used to it. Just clearing out the area. I'm nervous. Like I said, I should not be, but I am. I mean, we are also a close-ranged fighter against the Hydra, so that makes it not that much easier. Nah, but it's fine. There we go. Wait, I actually got hit. What? Jesus. Okay, so it really did not do any damage. I mean, we are... Look... What? Huh. Okay, I guess that's... What the... Can I reflect bleeding damage? It does not seem so. Okay. Well, yes, it should be easy, right? So it actually does feel easy. No, like, you know, it actually is... the Hydra is harder, but when you're ranged, because, you know, then you have to deal with all of the breaths. I just was not sure how much pierce there is in this, but we can tank the bleed attack, just no problem. I was really surprised that I was still running back into the bleed beforehand. But yeah, this is no issue. I even almost kind of wonder, should I tank some of the breaths just to see how much damage it would actually be? But I mean, yeah, by now I have some resistances against it, so it should not be that much of an issue. My reflect is not really hurting it though. And yeah, I'm not hurting it much either, so... So much for that. Yeah, we did not need a potion. So that's good. I mean,
You can't hold anymore.
I did not really expect anything better, so yeah. I mean, Adepts Leggings, out of all of them, I would say you're probably gonna get the Clasps and the Mantle and Diadem. Like, Diadem most often. I think so. Leggings is not even just that horrible. But yeah. Good enough. So now we have done the Hydra. I'm gonna finish it before 7 days. You just watch. And yeah. We did not actually need a potion. So Hydra is doable. The build is Hydra proof. Good enough. But yeah, obviously, I could have done more damage. It was relatively slow. But yeah, specifically with this build now, I mean, I think like the Jade Talisman's Emperor, the Jade Talisman of the Emperor, no. The Talisman of the Jade Emperor is still the better choice when we can tank it, because minus 25% recharge, you know, this is mostly defensive stuff, so I still think it is better. Also, Ares Warhelmet is such a weird item, because like, yes, physical damage, yes, strength, yes, offensive ability, and pretty good ones, and yes, elemental. But why is Ares actually not part of a set? Ares feels like he should really, like, of course there's the children of Ares.
You won't find any finer arms.
This is also the second Ares helmet that I found today, so...
Welcome to the big realm. I hope you brought something interesting with you. Your entrance was surely...
I certainly did not.
Wait, I have more.
And if I would have not brought it to you. Okay, let's do some normal running. Just so that we get used to the game speed again. I considered this fast at some point. Ooh! I think I'm actually seeing an item here. We have got our second Cyrunus. And he actually had a Prospector's Rod on top of that. Very nice.
You have no more room.
So yeah, Cyrunus. 9% health. But yeah, less damage from beasts and plants. I was actually thinking about it at one point, because then it also gives +2 to, well, basically all skills if you take Rune and Nature. And then yes, it does have some resistances.
You have no more room.
So yeah, worth it. This farming run was worth it. Like I said, we already do have the... Oh, 7? Ooh. If that rolled with something good... I'm not quite sure. The it does say plus 50% damage to the undead. I'm not quite sure where that comes from, because that is not in the TQ database. That is only constructs and devices. But yeah, 40% burn damage and does 765. Like the other ones are 650 or so. So yeah, that one. I mean... Also, do I need a Nagelfar? I don't particularly think I would need another one. I think I'm finding enough of those. I can't keep it, but like I said, if this rolled with something better on top of it...
or a bow.
And yeah, I'm gonna end after this farming run. We've done the Hydra. And then hopefully tomorrow I'm gonna feel at least good enough to actually go for the end. Yeah, I'm gonna farm up to like 200 million. Well, there we go. There's this chest redeemed. Because this chest was the second worst. Always, you know. That did not give any particular items. Ooh, we've got a thoughts. Perfect. The knots, vitality damage resistance, sure, casting speed, minus recharges, mostly what I would be looking for, but... oh, and some runestones. I mean, physical bonus. Unfortunately, the elemental damages that it rolled with are not that good. But I mean, what a 30% there. I'm good enough with those runestones. They are nice enough of a find to at least keep. So I just need to actually, you know, why I'm not gonna, you know, go further today is because I now feel like I have to also get used to playing at this game speed again. So, you know, I'm just not feeling good either, but I'm also fearing the worst, as I should. So yeah, at least the least I can do to prepare is, you know, to go back to the normal speed, get used to that again, so that we can then play from there. So that I'm not getting, you know, weirdly tripped up somewhere. And yeah, it actually does stand. There's literally no difference. Well, there should not be, but there is no difference. I'm still able to do it in, well, then the full 30 seconds. Honor of Grace, that almost sounds good. Okay, don't worry. I'm lucky with my farming, but not that lucky. So we can't expect too many items. But I mean, we still have the fungoids. So I'm fully expecting there's at least one more interesting item around here. But yeah, going back to normal game speed, it literally just feels so horrible. Nobody should have to go through this. It is agonizing. Darth, what do you have in your week ahead of you? Anything particular to be stressed out about? Any deadlines to follow? Or are you looking forward to something? Wait, yes, there's... Oh yeah, there's positivity in the world as well. God damn it. I always forget it. I still don't know. Why is there no lasso? There's obviously an attack for it, but they don't have lassos in the game. Oh, it almost sounded like there was something good. Oh yeah, and Darth, I also wonder... So yesterday I've been explaining a little bit in the stream of well, we're obviously like not coming to an end with Titan Quest overall. If I do manage to do it deathless, then I would also, you know, finish up all the quests and then actually do Atlantis blind with this character as far as we can go, and see where it kills us, because as I've heard that the Atlantis is supposed to be a lot more one-shot prone than the other ones. I'm not quite sure if more difficult, but I've heard that there's a lot more damage in Atlantis. So when I'm going there for the first time, I'm not quite so sure if I should expect doing it deathless. But you know, that is the fun in it. Which I would say then, like, if I do finish this, I'm gonna finish up on all of the quests that the character has finished by itself, but then also, you know, do Atlantis blind on the stream, so that we can explore this together, or you know, at least you can tell me what there is to see. But I would still obviously go on from Titan quests in some regards and actually try to also maybe play some stuff that, you know, I want to also play other stuff again. I mean, this is conceptualized as a variety stream, and I definitely do not want to, you know, tire myself out with that. Obviously there's Path of Exile coming out, so but Path of Exile I know much less about, and I'm much less good. I thought about like maybe going into like the trading league, because so far I've only been Care Blanc. How are you doing, dude? And hey, Bottle. And fucking chat. Why do you always have to raid when I don't have a chat? God damn it. Hey, Bottle. You know, Bottle actually, get ready for Care Blanc, wanted to give the raid away. And, you know, since I don't have a chat that is working consistently, I can't even see it. Oh yeah, don't worry. I have enough hate in myself for the both of us. You don't need to do anything. Although I'm a little bit preoccupied with myself recently. The last 2 days have not been pretty. But no, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. How was the stream? And I read as much as I can, possibly. By the way, I actually also saw Darth, Pokemon DLC is coming out, so I'll visit a friend tomorrow until Sunday, and then it's his birthday. Oh, that was the birthday. Good. Yeah, so I'm just explaining that obviously I do more than Titan Quest, and I actually wonder if my one viewer, like, you know, because Darth is the only one that comes around for my Titan Quest streams, that I actually if I do have to maybe make a certain time for my streams, you know, like if I have one viewer, I can just be flexible with it after my one viewer. I don't have such a problem with it, but obviously playing other games, it's gonna be stressful. It's gonna be stressful to go again with another game. Like, I mean, literally, I'm kind of like split into. It's on the one hand bad that I don't have viewers with Titan Quest. On the other hand, it gives me the freedom to just freely move on from it, because, well, it does not matter. Okay, we did find a legendary, but I don't know how many abyssal shields I have by now. If this the fourth one, I think this is like the fourth one. But we did find today the Helm of Seronos and the Crest of Hypnos. So I am very happy about those finds, even though they are not particularly for my build. It is shit. The Abysmal Shield you literally can't use for anything. It has no stats on itself whatsoever, and even in a set, it's just horrible. But yeah, I basically just said like I wanted to end because this is like my. It is an abyssal shit. Yes, exactly. I started earlier today, and we did a session of theory crafting. And now I did the Hydra before you came in. Hydra we can do without actually taking potions, so that is fine. Just takes forever. But yeah, like Hydra is no problem. Now it's literally just the last, you know, Loki and Suitor. Well, it is Loki and the Fire Giants. That's basically how it goes. But yeah, when I did actually, like 10 days ago or so, did ask you, like, my god, the assholes of Gorgons, I can't actually tank them. Did they always do so much damage? Well, as you can see by now, it's actually not a problem anymore. By now, I really don't... I also do have a Pain Weaver already, so... No, that was the sound of my of my Covenant. Although, yeah, this one probably has relatively good stats on it. It's fine. We have found basically everything already. No, but like at least I come out of this you know, streaming session with 3 items that are actually worthwhile to be gotten. So I'm happy enough about that. It's kind of what I put down for each farming stream. We are going to the 7 days in terms of playtime. But yeah, I definitely want to finish up before we are actually getting to 7 days. Yes, like that is one of the... So when we did theory crafting, the Disc of Money, like obviously for my first draft of what I would want to actually equip, as Darth also has a diviner for himself, he actually... no, I'm not going to play 7 Days to Die. Well, that also. But it is also a game that I'm not going to play. Just like I'm not going to die in 7 days. No, I'm I'm feeling relatively confident, but quite frankly, like I said, the last 2 days have not been pretty, and I'm literally feeling like a little bit of shit. So I'm gonna know what fights to pick and say, well, it doesn't have to be right now that I finish it. And I just went like a pussy and farmed some shit up. And anyways, so when I conceptualized the build, the Athena's battle griefs were, you know, physical damage, percentage, health. Those are important for me for the build, and I basically want to keep those, you know. Fire poison resistance is not bad to have. Also movement speed, but movement speed on the Disc of Money is not so bad either. What is nice about this one is the +2 to the Dream Mastery, and obviously it's shit tons of resistance, and the total speed then also goes to my attack speed, which I really want. And yes, more armor. I'm like, if I have like 600 armor on every piece, I feel like I don't need any more. But still, like... then we have the Plate of Toitatis, which we looked... thank you, dude, but yeah. Nah, the last 2 days were just bad. I'm not... There's ups and downs. So, yeah, Talisman for the elemental resistance. The Plate of Toitatis to then do good for the armor protection, and that I can take something out there. And then we wanted to look at how can I actually get max resistances with what I have. I do have a Aphrodite's Talisman, but since this is you know, Solar Cell Found, I can't actually equip that, but just as a thought piece, we were a little bit about that. And I could actually, if I wanted to, I could actually reach all resistances. But I would then lose, you know, stuff like my life leech, my well, right now what I have with the empathy is that I do have my attack damage converted to health, so that would still stay. But the life leech, the vitality damage, +1 to all skills. Well, we could put it on, but then it actually loses something else. And the reduction to enemies' health, which I actually don't know. I have to test this against other spears in terms of boss fights, because boss fights are kind of the big thing with my build that, you know, normal enemies, like you can see it when I do this, normal enemies, at least in the first acts, farming is not a problem for me with this build. Like this is a 6-second cooldown. It's not, you know, farming is not an issue for my build, but boss fights, they do take quite a little bit of time. And since I don't want to be a care plunk that actually sits around at a Typhon and has to wait for 3 cooldowns of his Colossus form, well, it is basically the same kind of bad for me. Well, I mean, Typhon I can basically 2-shot with the Shrine, but yeah, it's really just mostly about... Actually, I'm not even quite sure if with the... I have not tried it with the Trance of Empathy. Maybe I should actually try it out. Maybe we can actually one-shot him. Like if I just get a little bit more bleeding, should actually work. My dreams so far, nice pet bonuses, by the way. Well... The pet bonuses are absolutely useless for me. As you can see, I have right now no pet whatsoever. Because there's just, you know, like even if I put on extra speed, it is nice to have, but it is not gonna make my outsider really viable. I'm even thinking about actually just taking the points out. Also, by the way, can you help me with this, Plunk? I actually... So I have my quick bar here. And I do have a second quick bar. And I do have my my outsider here. But I do not... I have to take out a potion and actually equip that to an extra button, so that I would have a button for my outsider to spawn. Like otherwise, like I'm having so often to refresh those you know, those auras. So I literally don't even want to do it. Like I don't want to switch it, because then I can't do it in a fight, because it happens often enough that I'm actually, as you can see here for the moment, I'm on a little bit of a negative. So when I'm actually casting a spell and I'm literally just plopping to 0, like I would have like 2 extra energy. I can cast a spell. I cast a spell, and instantly when I cast a spell, I can't even take a potion. My buffs are actually gone. So it's literally happening in a boss fight. I can't have this on a second bar and then, you know, do all of the extra clicks. No, I want to have it on, you know, on my quick bar as is. So the only thing that I can do here right now, as I see it, that I would have more space on this quick bar, is that I actually allocate my my potions to somewhere else, right? But obviously I don't really want to do that, because, you know, convenience sake, I don't have to look how many potions I have. You know, they are sitting around right here right now. But ideally, I don't want to look at how many potions I have. I see it. I constantly have it aware. I need to have my potions up. Q and E for health and energy. Wait, you put E on energy? Literally because it is E? That is so plebeian. No, I put it on the well, no. And bottle, yeah, see you around, dude. Oh, and yeah, good luck with your exam. Hope it's gonna be fine. Oh, that's the cute default. Okay, good. Yeah, that is no. That is horrible. But yeah, I literally, I mean, obviously I can make a sacrifice with it and then just have this sitting here and then I know I have potions. But I'm literally, like, my brain is just so focused on I see the numbers. Like, I would have to basically reorganize myself to actually look up when I have potions, because otherwise I'm just gonna sit around and I have no potions. And then I'm like you, like, wait, do I not have health potions anymore? I don't really want to do that with a deathless character. So I kind of like it not to hide the numbers here. But I think it's the only way for me to actually get the outsider in my, that is on one click, that I don't have to like, like, out of one click, it becomes 3 clicks and 5 misclicks in a boss fight. So then it really just is, not useful anymore for a boss fight. I can use the numbers. I wish I did. I wish I could. I also, I also have to, really, really get that done. That I'm like literally as just preparation for Path of Exile, I have to use the numbers, because then when the new Path of Exile league starts, I don't even know. When does the new Path of Exile league start? And there you have to do it. There's like 5 more buttons that I have to actually get. But at least that one, lets me mostly, the buffs are not running out with that. They can't actually take it away with like skill disruption or shit. So you're gonna have your buffs up. So I can do it once in the beginning and then I don't have to really worry about it. But yeah, there's like around here, well, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And, well, and then maybe the one more button that I cram in, so 10. I would say in Path of Exile, no, I'm obviously using then A and Tab as well. So like 11 buttons that I use in Titan Quest. I would say in Path of Exile, I need at least 15 buttons so that I can, do everything correctly. Because it just needs 5 different potions by itself. Then you have all of your skills, which is basically the same as here. And then with, for specific boss fights, then you have to swap out skills, which I absolutely hate. I slept the Y button often to buff maybe, but can just summon outside and then go back. Default keybind to... Oh yeah, swap bars to Y. I mean, since I'm using WQER, reaching Y is relatively... I'm definitely pressing the wrong button. As well, because I'm still using actually the... I'm so cheap. Like, I'm constantly moaning about a second monitor to actually read chat from, which would make things a little bit easier. But then also, I'm still using the keyboard that came with the computer. I'm literally using the standard shit keyboard that comes with the computer. It's actually not a horrible one in terms of, what gets usually sent with the computer. It's not terrible for that. But there's a lot better that would be out there. So, like, for me, sometimes, also when I'm trying to actually get my hands on, I literally can't tell whether I'm on QWER or when I'm on starting on W. And then the first thing that I press, because I have my life drain on R, the first thing that I press then is T. So I can't tell you, I think half of my scrolls that I've used, I literally just wasted because I just, adjusted my microphone or shit, and then, put my hand down on the keyboard again, and then, oh, fuck. Not this shit. Especially when you try to spawn in with the Gorgons. When I use my Primal Chaos, obviously my character actually, bloats. So you have a bigger character. When you then teleport into the boss room of the Gorgons, you actually get stuck in the chest that you normally teleport besides to. It's just, yeah, those are the small things. The small things I don't really need to know about, but good shit game. I mean, I'm happy enough that I actually get to spawn in at the other side of it almost makes me wonder if they have actually done that on purpose, but I don't think so. I also wonder how many other boss fights this can actually work with. That, like, for example, Alastor, you could actually then go in from the other side. Because it seems to latch on to different instances on the map, like chests, for example. That it actually wants to put you beside a chest. And when, you know, like with the Gorgon's door, what happens in Titan Quest normally with doors is that you're reaching halfway through. Like the tip of my spear is always going through. Basically this, yes. And when I then teleport, I can actually teleport through the door into the boss room. So I'm wondering with how many others this would actually work. And I like it that it does work with the Gorgons because, yeah, it makes it makes the farming so much smoother. But then also, you know, stupid shit like, well, now your character model is bigger. Now you're actually spawning inside the chest and you can't get out of it anymore. So I have to then wait, stand around like an idiot until my buff runs out. Or, well, clear the rest of the cave, but it's still stupid. And yeah, when you want items, by the way, hey,
You can't hold anymore.
really? Really? Just fucking myself over because now I can't click the enemies. Well, we haven't had a Hector so far. Not bad. You want to actually you want to actually farm around here in the Dwargas. I mean, I think you do that anyways, but like I said, there's some pretty good stuff. I even like this could have been even better, by the way. And it did not, like, for example, it did not roll with the maximum elemental damages. Like, it can go with like up to 165 or so, 265, and obviously then it misses the suffix. But it could go well. So you do want to farm around here. It's highly profitable. And yesterday, for my first shit day, I actually did. That is why I'm playing this game. Well, to take my mind off of things with, you know, theory crafting. But it also made itself worth it by me, you know, by giving me 2 good items. So we found the Necrolord's gauntlets, and we did find a Mjolnir, which, you know, obviously I did not have one yet. So I'm almost like, whenever I see, like, I don't know what items can't actually spawn from the Atlantis expansion. Yeah, I don't know, where did you get 2 Mjolnirs from? For your build. How did you cheat your way? No, but yeah, see, exactly. Now my buffs are gone because I actually did not correctly. See, that is why I need to big brain it. Because I can actually take my own buffs off if I do have my, you know, my buffs on, and then I farm and farm and farm. Okay. Now, did you do it on X-Max? Because, like I said, I don't really want to actually farm with a mod. So I have to actually choose where I'm going relatively wisely for my time to actually be at least somewhat efficient. And yeah, you can see how the boss fights are actually kind of an annoyance. Like, it's not that I'm not doing any damage, but you know, there's still damage to be had. I'm wondering, obviously I can upgrade items. I have not done that yet, so. And also what I've set for the stream, if I do actually manage to and again my buffs are gone. If I do actually manage it on the stream, and that we are gonna do it deathless, that I'm actually gonna do Atlantis blind with this character and try to be deathless. Because I have just never stepped foot into Atlantis. So yeah, I would actually play it, other than what I've seen on your stream, completely blind. So yeah, I think you know, it's the closest that I can get to playing a full deathless run of, like, you know, actually being blind. Because obviously everything else in the game is like just, well, I kind of farmed the achievements and I was super careful. I think, yeah, I would think so as well. Just for the first time, especially when I'm then trying to be deathless, I think I actually take in a lot more from the, like, you know, I can't run through it mindlessly, so I actually have to be, what, vigilant? No, I do have to be attentive to what I'm doing. And I guess, like, I mean, there's a lot of great things, little things in Titan Quest 4. I mean, it does not look amazing anymore. There's certainly a shortage of animations and whatnot shit. Which then actually, it compensates with other, you know, little charming things. And I guess that I would then, for the first time playing it and actually being deathless and, you know, having to be careful with going through, well, I mean, so much for farming this, actually. This is the third one of those that we have farmed now. I think there was, I think maybe it was Bottle. You have to ask him the next time that he is in your stream. I think Bottle actually said he wanted bracers because that was the last item that from the Plowton set that was missing for him. I have, with this one, 3 of those now on this character, so I kind of forgot to ask him beforehand, so please do that when he is next around in your stream. He won't take it from us? Really? Well, then I have to burn them. No, I was, you know, with Darth talking about life leech sets and life leech retaliation. A bonus damage. And the Plautons has 2 set pieces which actually give direct life leech retaliation, and then on top of it with 2 pieces you get the set bonus which gives you another 45. And yeah, you want flat. Like, I've tried the Band of Souls, which gives like a 33% chance for either energy leech or life leech, and it basically does not occur. Like, when it occurs, it is pretty strong. Especially because it is self-buffing with 84% life leech. But it just does not occur, so you can't actually make a tanky character out of it, unfortunately. But yeah, like, I've been thinking about that a little bit. There is actually a really fun build, or what looks like a fun build at least, that I looked out for myself. That maybe I'm gonna make another spirit character and actually pair it with Hunt, so that we can actually have offensive ability and the boss killing capability that this one is missing. Like, basically, like I said, my damage is not bad. I'm just missing, and they're dodging, and, you know, I'm just you know, missing a lot of offensive ability that I would otherwise need. I hate that he sneezes on me. It, like, literally just reminding me of my allergies. You should use Agamemnon's death mask as well. Yes, I have been actually thinking, literally, we have been making that up. I will not use Agamemnon's death mask. I will use the mask cap of the Shadow Lord, which is basically the same thing. Start to wind down in a week or so. Yeah, I hope mine as well. So yeah, I don't want to complain about it too much. not after the last 2 days. It's just humbling experience every time. No, I'm not gonna get into it too much, but the last, like, normally when I'm saying I had a bad day, it's like, you know, like, you at some point it's also averaging out. Like, yeah, I had a bad day. Well, compared to other bad days, yeah, whatever. Like, with depression, also you're just kind of getting numb to it. Like, it's not that you're just like wailing on the ground and like no, you're literally just sitting there like, I don't want to live anymore. Can this stop now? Can I do something else? Thanks, brain, for the input, but I just have something else to do here. But, you know, the last 2 days have just not been very pretty. So, you know, above average. So I was very happy that at least I did not even have to go outside, but no, it's also winding down. So it's not as bad as last week anymore with that. So yeah, positive things. That's the positive things that I have to take in between. Nah, but I also then felt yesterday, when nobody was actually around in the stream for the 3 hours that I streamed, that I just felt like I don't want to actually finish on, like, you know, finish a 7-day adventure you know, for nobody. I just journey, yeah, I guess. I wanted to look for a more fancy word, just to make me seem a little bit smarter. Just to keep up the illusion. But yeah, no, I did not want to finish for nobody a 7-day run, so that felt also kind of bad.
Yes, bye.
Come, friend, and look at the best goods in the greatest trade city of Greece. Goodbye, my friend.
But a lot of it is in the mindset as well then. Like, I literally can't trust myself to actually be attentive. So I just did the bare minimum in farming, because I just did not trust myself to not go forward and literally die to the first boss, because I'm like, what does it matter anyways? And then I'm just like, oh shit. You know, when you're asking yourself the question, what does it matter anyways that I'm doing this for? And then you just become like a...
Bye.
It's those snap extravagance, yes. It's those snap decisions of like you're ruining something for yourself, which then makes it even worse. Which, like I said, what I said, like, I'm learning, or I have to learn that where I'm picking my own fights then, that I'm not acting in that moment of where I'm not so much the master of my own thoughts, that I'm not ruining more for myself than, you know, making it even worse for myself. And hey, Xeln, how are you doing, dude? Just passing by, how are you doing? Amazing! Thanks for asking. We were just to end, or I'm just to end here. And actually raid you over to somewhere else. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I'm not quite sure. No, I don't want to go to a hype train. I don't want to go anywhere where I'm not familiar with it. Oh no, yeah, actually, you know what? We can actually go to another Titan Quest streamer. I'm literally sending you from one Titan Quest streamer to the next. But yeah, Selen, I hope you are doing well as well. We are about to end our story, maybe tomorrow then. I farmed enough, I would say, to actually be ready to then do Suitor and the Loki fight, which I'm much more afraid of. So yeah, probably tomorrow is where you want to be around, because then we're gonna do the actual endgame stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna actually send you over to NSDC. I'm not quite sure what it even stands for. I've never asked him. But very nice dude from Canada, my age, and that is also playing Titan Quest. So yes, yeah, show him some love. I mean, I do have a raid message that if you use your channel points, maybe, if you do have enough of those, that you get the boxes, maybe. So that you don't have to sub. But yeah, he's a nice dude. You should definitely watch him a little bit as well. And yeah, Kerplank, thank you very much for the raid and for actually sticking around. Like I know that you're not usually having so much time right now, so I do appreciate you giving me the time. And yeah, so like I said, thanks for actually stopping by. See you tomorrow then. To the end, to ending it all. Now, like I said, after that, when we are doing when I finish the run, then we would actually go and finish all of the quests that I have left over. We have done all of the legendary monsters. I'm not quite sure. We would then do a blind run, because I've never myself ran Atlantis. So if we do it, then I would actually do a blind run of Atlantis on my Deathless character and try to be Deathless on it. So that one would probably be interesting. And if I then do that, then maybe we just kill off the character in one of the special passages or whatnot in the secret places. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, everyone who came around. Vet grannies, vibrators, I'm hot local mom. I'm not quite sure. Like, I just don't know what to particularly do with those, because I've had so many bot characters in the channel recently where I'm like, is it a cringy name or is it an actual bot? So yeah, but they're all my alt accounts. Oh, that's nice. Yes. No, I really like, beforehand the vibrator almost killed me. I mean, I did ask for the biggest stick, but yeah. No, I mean, I noticed Dave armor, I noticed Darth, so those are actually real. So thank you for coming around as well. See you around tomorrow then, if my brain wills it so.